Welcome to Cabassas, Cabessa. I'm your host, Santiago Cabassa. On this podcast, we talk about topics from my cabeza and offer excellence, expertise, and experience to help you with your journey through life. Let's get started. Good evening, everyone. Today's episode is called Fart. Fathers are real, tremendous, or terrible. We have 3 people here tonight, including myself. And I want to introduce
Juan Cabrera,
Mark Baselli,
Daniel Hope,
and I am Santiago Cabassa, your host of Cabassas Cabessa, and this episode, once again, is called Fart. Fathers are really terrific. And the reason why we're doing this episode tonight about gentlemen and fathers is because in recent episodes, we've covered all kinds of topics when it comes to the realness of women.
Sure.
And we wanted to shout out dads, fathers that are handling their business.
Right.
So I'm going to say a little bit about Juan.
No, before you go there, one of the other reasons why we decided to do this episode is because we are coming off of Father's Day weekend, and every father experiences Father's Day in a different way. Some fathers spend it alone. Some fathers spend it with their children. Some fathers spend it thinking about their children. So just so that you can be aware of why we're doing this episode.
Grandfathers, fathers, stepdads, dads, and just anybody that takes on the responsibility of not only their own kids, but other people's kids. So if you're in a relationship where you've taken on the responsibility of other people's children, we want to give you a hearty big up, because that is one of the hardest things to do, is to take on the responsibility of another man.
And then you're going to hear it from different perspectives.
Yes.
They hear.
Definitely.
You're going to hear it in living color, with no holds barred, because as you may know from this podcast, we don't hold anything back. We tell it like it is, because Santiago and myself, and Mark will attest to this, we like to hear it the real way.
That's
and
right.
We should say it the way that it comes off, because the way that it comes off is usually the way that you mean it.
Yes.
When you sugarcoat it, it kind of dilutes the way that you want other people to know it.
Cool, man.
That's right. And I definitely want to before we go on, I definitely want to introduce to me what I consider a tremendous father is Mr. Mark here. Mr. Mark is a dad that has an autistic son and has taken on the responsibility of all that. And I just want to say wholeheartedly, Mark, you're freaking tremendous. Don't start. You are tremendous.
You are.
Mark is going to give you a story. He's going to give you plenty of stories. He's going to, there's no filters with Mr. Mark, and we want him to be non-filtered.
Yeah.
So now let me give you another perspective. This is Mr. Daniel Hodge, and his perspective today is we're going to give him some insights on what we went through as fathers and his potential and what he went through coming up. He doesn't have kids yet, but he's going to get there. Daniel,
we want to get Daniel's perspective from his father.
Yes.
We want to understand, because for us to speak about fathers and it would be a little bit biased to us say, okay, well, this episode is all about fathers. But in reality, we all have fathers.
Yes.
Okay, we all come from something. And
sometimes we have multiple fathers.
Sometimes we have multiple fathers. And that experience in itself says a lot. It forms you. Your relationship with your father, whether he was absent or not, there in your life or not, you take away something from that relationship. And again, I'll say it, whether in your life or not, there is a takeaway from that relationship. So let's not misconstrue and say, oh, you know what? Boys who grow up without a father, they're different. No, you take something away from that relationship, whether they're there or they're not. And we'll get into those.
And we were talking about earlier today, like uncles and people that take on that
There's always a male figure
There's
in the
always
family
a male figure that will take on that responsibility.
There you go.
Agreed. All right, Mr. Mark, you are the man. This is your story. We want you to.
What story you want to hear?
We want to start from the beginning. We want to start from a young Mark. We want to start from a young Mark.
Before we go there, I just want to advise everyone and our listening audience, this is going to be an emotionally charged podcast.
And very rated R.
And very, very rated. It may go beyond R.
R plus?
But
Is there an R plus?
I would say, yeah, it might be going a little bit
lost
R.
it.
It might be going. It might be edging on X a little bit there.
One of the particulars that Mark just mentioned. Look at his. I mean, if you're watching the podcast, you could get a look at his shirt. He is the most brutally honest person I've met in the last. I mean, Juan also, and Daniel. I've just recently started. I shouldn't say a relationship, right? I just met Daniel. We've been working together for what, like 3, 4, 5 months now.
Correct.
And I want to show Daniel some love for a young man
Right.
to be in the position he's in and doing what he's doing.
Props, brother.
You get
Props.
big props.
Big props.
So let me give
Big
you
props.
that
Big
because
props.
I don't see. And in our travels in the insurance industry, we don't see a lot of people your age that take on the responsibility you take on. Yeah. And everybody I talk to, because I do check you,
he owns it. He owns it.
Nothing but great things to say about Mr.
you.
Daniel,
Which
and
makes
the job
you,
he does.
which makes you a great man.
Yeah,
right.
just to jump in right there,
ahead, give it.
I work for a very reputable and essential carrier for the New York market. And I'm just explaining why I'm in this type of attire because Santiago told me, he was like, listen, we're going to talk about health-related stuff. And then he calls me up this morning while I'm in Harlem. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm ready. Because I texted him, okay, we're ready to go. He's like, yeah, we're going to be talking about father stuff. I'm like,
And then he sideswiped you, right? He does that shit.
It's
all the time.
perfectly fine. I'm ready. I'm perfectly
Sometimes
ready.
Sometimes folks, we got to blindside people.
Exactly.
And
You do that shit.
I
All
was
the time, man.
like, you know what? I need the perspective of somebody that doesn't have kids yet. And Daniel
I'll
called.
be happy to
and
do
then
that.
right after I was thinking about that, guess who called? Him.
Daniel.
I was like, Daniel, you got kids? And he was like, nah.
Nah, man.
I said, yo, I need
That's
your
it.
perspective tonight. Get
You're gonna
up
be
there.
the sacrificial lamb, bro.
Let's rock it out.
Rock it.
Mr. Mark, we want to go from little Mark, not on a bike yet, to now Mark, and how you deal with your 2 sons. Let's go. Give it to us. Brutally
Boys.
honest,
Yeah.
please.
Just
That's the
plain
only way
and
he
simple.
knows how, man.
Yeah, man.
Which I appreciate. I love, bro. You know how
Thank
I
you, because a
feel
lot of
about you,
people
man.
don't, man.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people shy away from it. You know why? Because they're cowards when they hide stuff. They hide behind things. Hide behind nothing, which sees what you get. When I say behind a closed door, I tell you to your face. And I don't mean disrespectful. It doesn't always have to be disrespectful. It's just we're going to tell you to your face. And most people don't like that. And a friend of mine said to me, the other side of that of me is I'm a very loyal friend. I always put other people first. But I don't even, it's not like I try to. And I don't want to tap on the back, but I've ended up in really bad positions because of trying to help people that didn't even deserve to help. Most of my life, the people, and I keep making the same mistake. People like, you got, and I keep, you are who you are, right? I keep making the same stupid mistake. Up to a week ago, I'm 56 years old. Up to a week ago, it just keeps coming out and I make shitty mistakes. Besides that, I don't care. I don't have that feeling about regret until somebody does something bad to me. So I'm not even thinking about, I'm giving you this, it's just organic, I'm just doing it. But when you hurt me, then it all comes back to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this son of a bitch, and after everything I did for him, and I hate saying that, after everything I did for you, right? I hate using that term because it seems like you would keep score.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but I don't keep score until, then the score comes in all at once. And there's no percentage with me. So
There's
could
0
fucking-
to 100.
You could put a ball in my head, and you could hit me with a Nerf football. To me, it's in the same bucket. It's like 2 buckets. I got my 100% bucket and my 0% bucket. There's no in between. Disrespect's disrespect. Unloyalty's unloyalty. And like I said, to myself too. I practice what I preach. I've done a lot of shitty things to a lot of people. But I face up to it. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, my grandmother. My grandmother always had sayings. And she was the most incredible woman ever, man. She was like, and I'm not saying this because she's my grandmother, but she really was something unbelievable. My grandfather died at an early age, and she's been by herself a long time in the Bronx. I never heard her once say anything negative about anybody. And every day I would see her, she would say, Mark, remember, it's nice to be nice until it's time not to be nice. That was her favorite thing. She'd hold my face. She was a little tiny thing. And she grew up in Hell's Kitchen. She was a seamstress. She didn't have an easy life. And that was her saying, it's nice to be nice. So, a lot of people don't even know it. Consciously, now this I do consciously. It could be anything, man, because I've been in those shoes. I've been in a position where I'm sitting in my car and I go, that's it, I'm done. I can't handle more. I'm out myself. And I've done that. I was dead. And they brought my ass back. You know why? Because he's too much of a pussy. Because he's going to be judged by me.
Right.
He's not going to do no judging. Okay? Because he fed my kid poison. He fed a lot of kids poison that don't fucking deserve poison. And I don't care what kind of God you pray to, Jesus Christ or Muhammad, don't matter to me. I don't know who the fuck is up there, but when I get up there, man, that's why he sent me back.
Okay.
He sent me back because he don't want me there. He does little bullshit things like he did tonight. It was beautiful. I got on my bike and I was like, oh man, I got an hour ride up to Beacon. I'm gonna see some cool dudes. And like I was just telling him, that might seem like an everyday thing, like going up to Beacon. To me, that's equivalent. I was just telling him, it's equivalent to a week vacation. And I don't say things. I mean that. I was like, I'm going on a week vacation. Seriously, in my head.
Why? Tell them why.
Most of the time, not all the time, my life revolves around my son. Everything revolves around my boy. And it's not easy, man.
Tell us.
It's hard.
Yeah. Tell us
For me and my wife. I mean, it's really difficult. But like I always say, when I stop and think, I'm like, okay, I look at him and I cry, man, because he's suffering an unbelievable amount. Like every breathing second, that kid's suffering, man. And it's not fair. And believe me, my life's fucking tough, bro. And I look at him and I go, I can't imagine what he has to go through. So
Tell
that's
us
what keeps me
about
grounded.
Mark. Tell us about
So he wakes up, me and him,
his name. Tell us
his name's Justin,
Justin is,
23 years old now.
and he has
He has autism. He has defiance disorder.
Yes.
He had seizures, but we have the seizures under control for a long, long time.
Right.
He does things that autistic people are working with a small part of their brain that we're not. So he does stuff that's incredible, but not in our world.
Right.
Like, for instance, I said he was only like 7 years old, and he was calling out people's names just in class, and they're like, Joe, Judy, whatever. And the teacher's like, nah, Justin. And the one of the helpers realized that every time he said a person's name, they would come down the hallway. The door was closed. He had no vision to them. He was identifying people in the whole school. He was identifying people by their fucking footsteps.
Footfalls.
So
footfalls.
that's like, you tell people like, it's bullshit. That ain't bullshit. That's how or a kid that gets on the piano and he's playing fucking Beethoven because that's his brain. It's totally different than how our brain, but unfortunately for them, it's useless in our society.
Can I just say something, Mark? And I'm going to introduce just this one time. It's funny that you say that because.
Oh yeah, you were telling. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
My niece is autistic.
That's right. That's right.
And sometimes I'll look at her and you can tell that there's a lot going on up there. It's not coming out.
Yeah.
And
how frustrating that is to her, man.
How
That's frustrating to her.
intelligent she is.
Beyond what we can even comprehend is her intelligence. Beyond what we even can comprehend, believe me.
And then I see what it does to my brother. My brother my brother was a New York City police officer, and and then a correction officer, and he left his job, took the early retirement because he chose to take care of my niece.
Yeah, because he's a man.
Because he's
He's
a man.
Good,
and that was
he's a
an
dad.
honorable thing to do.
Yeah, he's a dad. He's a real dad.
But we talk
To
about
say you're a
dads.
dad's easy. To be
To
a
say
dad's
it,
not.
to prove it is difficult. And I'll tell you one. Here's the thing. And dads, we come in all different shapes, sizes, and mental capacity. And I'll say this all the time. And in your case, bro, it would have been easy to run.
Yeah.
But you chose to stay.
That's right.
And that is fucking admirable.
That's
when
a
it comes
that's
to
an
it. But the way I
awesome
see
trait.
it,
That
it's
is awesome.
admirable. Because a man, my father used to tell me that a man who can't have a family can never be a man. I held that belief. My father was a welder. You look at his hands. He lived a tough life. I mean, you see the wrinkles on his face, and those aren't wrinkles. Those are fucking war maps of the life that he lived. And I realized and I learned to appreciate that. But he also used to tell me that you want to see a man, the toughest man in the world, belittled to the fucking weakest weakling in the world. Let one of his kids be sick.
Wow.
It'll drive you fucking crazy. And I went through that. Hey, look, I have 6 kids. I've gone through it.
And we're gonna tell that story. But let me get.
And that makes you a special person, man. That defines who you are. The life you live defines who you are. And people that don't experience certain things can't. I can explain to somebody all day for 2 years, every day, drilling their head. They're never gonna ever comprehend it. Never
because they can't. They gotta walk in your shoes. To
Never
understand
get-
it.
Hold on.
They have to walk in your shoes.
Let me get. So Daniel, tell us about a little bit about your dad and your upbringing and what you took from your dad that's guiding you now.
So, I'm 25. I have no kids. I grew up in Guyana, okay? So it's a totally different culture, all right? I just want to highlight that in terms of exposure to kids who might be a bit different to, the other kids, right? That's not something that we regularly saw in Guyana.
Okay.
When you come up here, you're much more exposed to it and you're much more educated on, differences in what children may be going through. Back home in Guyana, it's not the same.
No. In a lot of the Latin, and I'm going to introduce real fast, and this is the last, all I'll say on this.
No.
For a lot of the Latin countries and a lot of the Caribbean countries, we grasp with understanding mental health.
Correct.
We are the newer generation understands it more and they're more accepting of it. The older, no,
Correct.
They're not.
Correct. And it proves to be a bit detrimental in our understanding. Not everyone is as I should say, intellectually advanced as I would say the regular person in terms of understanding how different people are. All right, because when you have people who are brought up in a particular culture, all right, and you have specific things or specific notions that are spread, when they come over to America, they go over to somewhere in Europe and they're exposed to different types of people, all right? Same color, same type of person, same DNA, right? But just so happens that you might have some sort of mental illness or neurological illness.
Challenges are different.
Exactly. People don't know how to cope with that type of stuff. So I'm very, very happy, not just that because we're talking about fathers, but we're able to talk about certain types of
mental illnesses.
Exactly.
Mental health, wellness. And that leads us into, we do have another podcast, which is called the Real Deal Health, Wellness, and Insurance Podcast, where we talk about wellness, insurance, and all kinds of health issues. And we deal with pharma and we deal with all those things. So look out for that one. That's the Real Deal Health, Wellness, and Insurance Podcast. Okay, Mr. Mark, give us.
I plugged that in, all right?
Thank you.
You guys better.
He plugged that.
Exactly.
We give him his credit. Like I said, I give him props. Give me, Mark, the challenges. You have an older son, and you have your son. And I hate to start saying, your autistic son. What were the challenges when your second son came into the world?
And I wanted to add a little bit more on that.
Go ahead.
Mark, if you can just, if at all possible, and you allow us, or you want to share this, because it's all on you, brother. You share as much as you want to share, and you hold back as much as you want to hold back. But I'm interested in finding out, because in a situation like this, one of the things that I've noticed is that the whole family's involved, and the whole family goes through it. It's not just one person. We would think sometimes that we suffer
Trickles
individually
down, man.
as we suffer in silence, but I think that the pain and how we deal with it is very different in terms of how you take the pain, your wife takes the pain, the older brother takes the pain, and we all experience it in a different way.
And then you got assholes that don't fucking experience it, and they say stupid shit.
Because they think that they know it, when
Yeah,
they
because
don't know,
think
because they
they're
haven't
fucking
walked in
superior.
your shoes.
And I've
looking
heard
from
that
the
before.
outside, man.
And people that tell me that, my friend said to me, he asked my other friend, he goes, does he really have a list? Yeah, I really got a list, man. And everybody on that list is going to get fucked up at some point. And I believe people, and everybody agree with me, people have to pay for what they did or what they said, unless they stand up like hey man, and apologize, be a man. Somebody that doesn't apologize is a piece of shit to me. I'll apologize for anything I do. If I don't think I'm wrong, I'll say, listen, I don't think I'm wrong. But as a 56-year-old man, I know what's right and wrong. We're all from the same culture. And I'll say, hey man, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean saying it. It's not a big deal to me. I don't have to but some people, man, they just got to be right and they're the best and they know it all. And these are for people that don't even have fucking kids, man. And one of the things I heard was the most unbelievable. Nothing, I think about it, and I get sick to my stomach from. That's how, I mean, I get a knot in my fucking stomach, and I can't wait for the day. Everybody, nobody gets away with nothing with me. And like I said, people have violence or, no, I resort to violence. I'm telling you, brutally honest, my way of feeling better is stepping on somebody's fucking head that said something stupid, that deserves it. And if I said something like that, I deserve to get my fucking head stamped on too. That's just how I look at it. I'm not asking anybody to agree with me at all. I'm not looking for, I don't need assurance or I need someone to tell me it's right. I don't give a shit, man. I've been on my own since I'm 7 years old. I don't need nobody to tell me, and it might not be right, but I'm telling you what I do. What makes me feel like what I did what's right. Hey, that person got what they had coming to them. And my fucking, I can tell you this. I'm not going to say who he is. I'm on the phone with somebody, okay? I'm on the phone with somebody that doesn't have any kids, okay? I don't know what I was talking about. Listen to me. My house is destroyed.
That's one of the challenges.
Destroyed, man. When I tell you it's destroyed, man. I don't know why he does it. I don't know what causes him to do it. But he's not in a fit of anger, right? He's done it like in a fit of anger, but 99% of the time, he just like look at you and he's pulling pieces of sheetrock off the wall. In my dining room, I have no sheetrock left, right? For years, I worked as a high-rise Iowa for 23 years before I started a business. I had no work, man. And all I did was work. My father, that's the only good thing my father instilled in me was his work ethic. Up to the point where it's not even good anymore because I'm wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? I should have enjoyed a lot of those years instead of work here, work on Saturday, where can I get a job? I worked 7 days a week when I was a young person. I mean, I had my fun, but my father was a piece of shit. Anyway, that kid, my house, I had to stop. I said, I was at the point where I got to look past it because I was coming home from work. I was getting a bucket of spackle, sheetrock, paint, and it was nonstop. It was a vicious circle. So I got past it. My wife's having a little more of a hard time. I just don't even look at it anymore. I could give a shit about the wall. There's more important things. So like, if I have 15 minutes, okay, I can't take a shower. I can't take a shit. I had to get up while I was taking a shit and pull my pants up and go downstairs to see what the fuck was happening. Okay, he does things. I've never heard of it. He has defiance disorder, which also makes you. He gets a high out of fucking with you. Yeah. And he just looks at you and smiles. And I'm like, he's got no fear, man. Not that I want to have fear, but listen, sometimes you get to a point where, I mean, I've looked at him. I mean, I'm crying. I'm so angry, I'm crying. And he just looks at me like this. He doesn't blink. He just looks at me. And one day I said, okay, Justin, this is what we're doing. You can't punish him because nothing helps. Take this away, take that away. I don't know if it's with all autistic kids or just him, but beyond the autism, I think his personality as a kid would have been to be bad. He would have had that person, a kid that was in trouble a lot. Not
expressive.
Exactly.
Expressive, yeah.
Which is opposite of my older son, who was, I don't know. I used to look at him, and I don't even know where he came from, man.
Completely different.
He was like 17. When I was 17 years old, I was out of my mind.
Completely different.
I got in his car to move the car. And 10-10 Winds is on. And he's upstairs sleeping. It's 10 o'clock. I go, something wrong with this kid, man? He's a good-looking kid. He's built like an Adonis. He comes from somewhere, I don't know, man. And I watch him with his brother. I look back at photos, and every single photo I have that kid, on, he's holding his brother in his arms. He's kissing him, man. Photo after photo, and he's got a smile. It's not an act. It's just coming out of him.
It's real, man.
Yeah, man. He's the biggest man I know, and I told him that, and that's a fact. I looked at him and I said, Damon, you know what, man? My whole life I thought I was a man. I worked like a man. I behave like a man. I think I'm not the perfect man, but I feel I'm a man. And I go, and I mean it. I says I couldn't be 1% of the man that he is, man. Not 1%. And he's incredible. To this day, I look at him and I'm like, he's like nobody I ever met in my life.
You would say that's like his son. It's like that's
beyond that.
No, I'm talking about his brother.
Yeah,
like would you say
unbelievable.
That he's got the traits.
He's more of a dad.
He's a father. He has the father.
He's all father to that kid than brother.
Yeah.
Okay,
look at that.
That's
awesome.
But here's the thing: you have to, at some point, like Mark was saying, you want to. It's like you're doing it in defiance, and it's like you got to hold back from. It's like this kid is doing it on purpose, and and then you get to a point where you realize because again, we have this experience in our family, and I know my brother. The only thing is, it's different between boys and girls. True. And my brother had told me, and then you get to a realization when you go through therapy, and you say, "Oh shit," when the psychiatrist tells you, or the therapist who's treating them tells you, they can't control these feelings. You don't understand. These are just feelings that come on. And they can't control, like tearing the sheetrock off the wall. They are not in control.
Tourette's, that's too. My son also has Tourette's.
They are not in control.
Exactly.
But the boys, when you take a look at what Mark just said about his brother and that he's kissing his brother, it's like life throws these at you, right? But, here you are. You have one extreme and then you have the other. And you look at his brother and he loves his brother. And you say, wow. Because I go through this with my boys, like with Matthew. I have always, and I keep telling Matthew.
But tell him Matthew is your step.
My stepson, yeah. But Matthew, excuse me, I have always told him, and it's the things that you do, like you said, he's kissing his brother and stuff. It's like, I look at him and I say, and the compassion and the real and the genuine feelings towards his brother. Like, he takes my youngest, Caleb, and Matthew plays with him and he hugs him and he kisses him. And it's not fake, it's real. So, I look at Matthew and I say, Matthew, not for nothing. And let me tell you, there's been times. There've been times with Matthew. But listen, the way that I say this, and I've told him this, you're going to be a great father.
Matthew, when you watch this,
you're going to be a great father.
I agree with Juan. You are a challenge. Hold up. But let's get back to Mark. Mark, tell me the experience you had when your son got to 21 and become emancipated and the problems you had trying to get insurance for him. And then the lady that took him, the lady you were telling that story about where she took him into that place, the nonprofit that he was able to get his services to. Let's go.
So that's just like, that's seriously. And like I said, whatever I say, I don't say like, oh, it's a miracle. No, if I say it's a miracle, I mean it. Everything I say, I mean. I don't just say, I don't say, people say, which is fine. That's what it's meant to be. It's a saying. People just say it. When I say something, there's all meaning behind it.
Gotcha.
First of all, when he was turning 18. 18. Okay? The lady says to us, one of his teachers, she goes, you guys have to do proof of guardianship. I go, what's that? She goes, if you don't get proof of guardianship when he's 18, the state could just take control of him. They come in, they have full control. So, his birth certificate, his proof of guardianship, I had to go to a lawyer, pay to fill out some stupid form. It was like fucking $6,000. I'm like, what kind of scam is this, right? But whatever, do what you got to do. I'm not going to take a chance on the state coming and take my kid. And do what I got to do. I don't care if I go collect cans. I'm going to do what I got to do to get that done. He turned 21 though. This was like, I couldn't even believe what was going on. The guy said, listen to me. Any special needs person, when a special needs person turns 21, that's it. It's like they don't exist. There's no more laws pertaining to from 21 down. There's laws that say programs have to, if your school district doesn't supply the thing, he has to go. So there's laws that say they have to take the program.
You're on your own, man.
21, they just cut them off, man.
On your own.
Like they're dead.
Yep.
You couldn't get Medicaid.
Nope. Your responsibility at 21, man.
He always needed a one-on-one, which he needed another person there to be by because he was hard to handle. At 21, that's it. There's no more laws for that. So every program that we took him to said, we really would like to take him, but he needs a one-on-one. I can't afford a one-on-one. Hey, how much money that is a day?
What's the average price for that?
I think probably like $600 a day.
A day?
Yeah. If I had it, so I got to pay.
Services.
It's not about the money. So we were taken to all these different programs, and they were like, oh, sorry. And I'm like, sorry, man. What the fuck is going on here? Like, how can this country, and I love this country, but listen, man, that's bullshit. A special needs person, of all the people in this world, how you're cutting a special needs person off? And I said, what about people that don't have a father or a brother to care for them? Where are those people? Where are they all? There's got to be a bunch of them, right? Where the fuck are they? Those people are roaming around like just walking. It's so sad, man. It's fucking heartbreaking. How scary that must be for them. Of course, they get used to that way of living at some point, but that's terrifying, man.
We see them every day.
It's terrifying.
On the side of the highway holding paper.
Just go down to.
And you have people take advantage of it.
Go down to South Yonkers every day. There's a place, the homeless shelters in Valhalla, and they take them from Valhalla and they drop them off in downtown Yonkers.
They
Every
are.
day.
Yeah, I know.
They-
We took my son to that place.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got no windows, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
it's,
No windows.
That's one of the places I said, I'm not fucking putting my kid in there. It looks like a jail. I go, I don't care if it's in South Yonkers or it's in Scarsdale. I go, I'm not putting my kid over there. No fucking way.
And then they
Are
cut.
there.
And then the other thing
know
was
what I mean?
in South Yonkers,
They're hidden
there was
figures, man.
There was
They're
a
the
church
hidden
there
figures.
that used to provide lunches for those individuals. Guess what? They cut the funding. The church doesn't give lunch
so
anymore.
sick.
But I want to get to tell us about that angel that took him in.
I want to read.
But first of all,
He sent me a Father's Day text, okay? And I'm not.
Who did?
This guy Marlon.
Okay, Marlon.
It was the one that he pushed us along and
Yes.
helped us get my son into this program.
Right.
And he wrote me a text on Father's Day, man. Like no one's ever said that to me. You know what I mean? And my son tells you all the time. My son's always like, "You're a great dad." My oldest son,
Right.
"You're a great dad." He always tells you to confirm me because I feel like sometimes I feel like I wasn't. Sometimes people tell you weren't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you doubt yourself, brother. You doubt
Yeah.
yourself.
So-
Listen,
I don't doubt-
I've seen
I don't
that.
doubt-
I've been there.
I had
But
two
that-
experiences. One's too long to tell.
All right.
But I had one experience at a coffee shop, okay? This is where I go for like an hour just to fucking be alone, man.
Yes.
Because that's another thing. I get zero alone time, and nobody realizes that. You don't know it until you don't have it.
Right.
That's worth more than anything in the world. 5 minutes, I wake up, I sleep with my son, which I love doing. We sleep.
Tell us your schedule.
Okay, so he always slept with us. He started getting bigger, and my wife's like, I can't sleep in this bed with you guys anymore. So she went and slept in another bedroom, which is the best thing that ever fucking happened to me. And no shut the TV. I did it, man. Shut the fuck up. I'll shut the TV when I want to shut the TV. And so there's none of that. But what happens is I get up. And
But you love your wife, then.
I love my wife.
Thank
She's
you,
incredible.
thank you.
She's an incredible woman.
Let's get that in there.
Thank you for reiterating that, son.
Let me save your life.
Fucked up. They tell me when to shut
Let
the
me save your
TV.
life.
Like they say, shut the TV. Fuck you, shut the TV.
When somebody walks in and you know,
Yeah, so
thanks to
It's
the-
by necessity. It's totally by
that's the
necessity,
best thing
man.
that
Still
fucking
love my wife,
So
man.
Justin usually falls asleep around 8 o'clock, right?
I'm sorry, Mark's wife, he loves you.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
love you. I love you.
I don't want to be.
Yeah,
I don't
always
want
tell
to.
her.
I don't want to
She's
have
my
her come
angel.
into
She's
my
my
store and
angel.
come for me. But go ahead.
'Cause I'm not the nicest person in the world, believe me, I tell you.
Yeah, right.
I'm nice, but I could be not nice when people deserve it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Over the top, not nice. And that's just how I am. Everyone has their doubt. I'll never tap myself on the back. Never. But it was great. The fuck, somebody in the other room, get the fuck out of here. Shut the TV. So this turned out to be great. So he falls asleep. When he falls asleep, man, listen to me. I've shaken him as hard as I could. He ain't waking up.
Can't wake him.
Can't wake that kid. So I actually think he was about an hour before bedtime. He takes a bath. He comes into bed. He fucks around a little bit. And then he actually starts to change. His whole face starts to change. He looks like a different person. Wow. His face, he lays there and he looks at me. Nonstop eye contact. And he's like, I love you, Dad. And he's talking to me. He's so calm that he's almost talking to me like a typical kid. I talk to him. We talk. He tells me about school. He's a totally different kid. Oh, so the anxiety's starting to go away. The kid never sits down. Never. He never sits down. He eats standing up. He doesn't sit down. Never. Wow. Except it's time to go to sleep. He eats standing up, everything. Whatever it is, if that's how he has, that's what he enjoys. Whatever that kid wants to enjoy, I'm giving it to him, man. I don't care what it is. You want 7 donuts? Have 7 donuts, man. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? He deserves whatever that kid does enjoy. He deserves it, man. But I used to think, oh, he's getting tired, man. But that's why it wasn't because he was getting tired. I realized that it was, he knew within a little while he was going to be asleep. Wow. And he's going to be at fucking peace, man. And that's sad.
The brain was going to calm down, man. The brain was going to calm down.
Yeah, and he knows that.
So I know, but before I get to the next one, tell us, Mark, about that lady that took your son into the program and how that happened. Because I want you to explain it. And then I'm going to ask you about...
But first, can I say one thing? I'll say everything I'll say. I have to mention because he's the first person that... Probably the first person I'd say, and even like now... Fucking Leo, man.
Yeah. Oh, Leo's awesome.
I was in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Okay? I was in a bad fucking position. I don't fucking know Leo that well. I know him decently, but it's not like I know him for years. And that fucking motherfucker put his life on hold, man. Yeah. He came to work for me every day, man, because he knew I was in trouble. And he always has a smile on his face. And he's still doing it. He's coming down it. He's working all day. He's like, Mark, let's go at night and we'll get the invoices done. I'm looking at him, I'm saying, listen to me. He's a rare person, man. That's a rare, I still can't believe it. You know, sometimes you're at a certain place and it seems surreal, right? Like, it's not really there.
Yeah.
How old are you?
56.
Same age, okay.
Yeah.
Have you used to
Me
watch
too.
watch the Twilight Zone?
Of course.
Okay, so there
The
was
original
like,
black and white?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
So
One of my
there's
favorites.
episodes where like there's multiple episodes where what's one of my favorites? Last Stop Willoughby. Right? So for instance, that guy thought that was actual place, but he was fucking dead. Willoughby was dead. Last Stop
Dead.
Willoughby, and he kept waking up in the same spot. And I was outside. It was at nighttime. And I was outside, and Leo was inside. And I even told Leo, I'm looking in there. Leo was moving around, and it felt like it was a place that only I could see. Like not anybody else could see. You know what I mean? Like it was in my head. It was real, but only in my world.
Right.
So it was like an angel, like literally like an angel. I look out my window and at my house and I'm dealing with my son, and he's loading the truck. I go, so who the fuck is gonna do that, man? And I took a cent from me. And then I watched him, not just me, I see him with other people, you know what I mean? He's unbelievable, man. He's probably one of the
Can I
best
ask you a
people I ever
question?
met.
I gotta temper this. His last name is, what's his last name?
Leo?
Leo.
I'm gonna say it wrong. I'm gonna pronounce it wrong.
Go ahead.
I know I'm gonna pronounce
Try
it
your
wrong.
best.
Well,
Try
then,
your best.
I'll call him Love. With a V.
I call him.
Leo.
I think it's Vincent Gann or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
I don't want to pronounce it
We
wrong.
just want to
When
make
he
that
says it has that nice tang to
because
it.
we want to make sure it's the right Leo. And you know what I mean, right?
I do know.
Yes.
And-
so we want to make
and
sure
he's extremely
we're
talented.
giving credit on this show.
He is
To
one of
the
the
right
most
Leo.
talented, intelligent people that I've ever fucking seen. I was on my bike, right? It was nighttime, and I was coming up from, so say you're standing outside of your place, right? I was coming from the right, down the street that way.
We talk about Leo again.
Yeah, right, so I was on my bike, though, and I was coming up,
Right.
and Sir John's was on my left, right? So you really can't see that place till you start coming to the
True,
top, right?
true.
And I got to the top, it must have been like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I saw Leo, and he was outside like this. He didn't see me. I was at that light, and he was outside. It was late. I had it probably close to 10 o'clock, and he was standing outside, and he was staring at the place, right? And I said, look at this motherfucker, man. I go, he's one of the smartest, innovative,
Yeah.
kind. Leo is also a very special
I
person.
mean, he did the whole office.
Yeah, I know.
He moved all the
Hey, I
stuff.
wonder
You
if
were
I
there.
get credit.
Yeah,
did he tell
yeah,
you? Did he tell you?
He did
that
the
I
ceiling.
Did the ceiling with
He
him?
did the ceiling.
Oh, wait, at your office right there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is unreal, man.
Yeah.
He's an unreal person, man.
And I gotta give Leo, Leo a lot of love because I remember like most of the painting that got done in that office, everything that got moved, the carpet that got done was basically at cost.
That kid never stops working, man.
Yeah.
He's always thinking, and he doesn't do it for money. He's not saying
He's ready to come
he's not
in.
money hungry.
Yeah.
He just enjoys.
He enjoys
people.
the contract work. He loves doing it.
He
He's
loves
been doing it for
he loves
such a long
thinking.
time.
He loves thinking
And
about it.
he loves the fact that, I know he's gonna come on our side soon.
Yeah.
He's trying to
He's
get
a
his
good
license.
person, man.
But let me get to that. Come on, I need that story.
Which one?
The one about the lady.
The lady
Okay.
who helped you.
Yes. And then I want to get to the other one about
Okay,
Wait,
so
no one
Marlon.
else would help.
So
Marlon.
yeah, so
it
with
gotta
COVID,
it starts with Marlon.
because of COVID, they gave the special needs kids 6 more months. Now, my son was done with school.
Right.
So he was going to a school where that he was able to stay there until he was 21, and that was it. Then it's over. Some schools are 18. This school happened to be 21, and then he had to go on his way. So during that, they gave them another 6 months of school because of the COVID. So they placed him at CPW, which originally was for people with cerebral palsy. CPW is cerebral palsy of Westchester, right?
Okay.
But,
Now I
but
know what you're talking
as time went on, they help all special needs people, and it's it's nonprofit. It's all donations. Right on the same property, they have a camp
Right.
that's part of that. So there's the bridge school, which is a school for special needs people. Right. It's called the Bridge School. And then there's the day program, and then there's the camp.
Yes.
So during that time, he went to the camp. Okay. And there was this Jamaican guy, Marlon, and they friggin' loved each other, man. My son wouldn't stop talking about Marlon, and then I said, you could feel the love from Marlon from 10 miles away. And I said, hey, Marlon, if you ever want to make some extra money, because we have this other lady, Jicka, man, she's another special lady. My shop used to be in Mamaroneck, and she rented an apartment, okay? This fucking lady, man, she had 2 kids, a boy and a little girl. And that poor little girl was blind and crippled, and she couldn't walk, and her husband bailed, okay? And she was there by herself with this little girl and this little boy. And I watched it. I saw them every day.
So that dude gets the other T in Fort, right?
Yeah, you know what he's going to get?
No. Keep going.
And I watched her. I would watch her. She's one of the most incredible people that I've ever witnessed. The lengths that she went to. This little girl had like 10 surgeries on her eyes. Wow. She had to learn sign language, right? And I'll tell you something that really touched me. That was even beyond Jitka. So she was unbelievable. Likes to take care of this her daughter, and her son reminded me of Damon. He was always with her. He was always with his sister, and you could see he wasn't forced to. He did it because he loved her. And he's a big boy now. I'd say he's probably like 19. Okay. So I know him for a long time. So Jicka said, hey, Mark, if you ever want to, I'll come to the house and take Justin out. So she comes like 2 hours, and Justin loves her. With certain people, he likes doing certain things. So with Jicka, he likes to go to in Mamaroneck. I don't know if you guys know Mamaroneck at all, but there's Harbor Island. Yeah, he loves going shopping. That's the thing. He loves going shopping to get cake. He loves food. With Marlon, I said, Marlon, you ever want to? Listen, I'm not sending my kid with anybody unless I have. Right. I trust him 100%. You know what I mean? I said, Marlon, you want to come and take Justin out for extra money? He goes, yeah, definitely. So it's kind of like twice a week when he had time. And Justin loves Marlon. I love Marlon. He's the one who wrote me this Father's Day text. So
right, you were telling us.
Like I said, the camp is part of that whole thing.
Right.
The Bridge School and CPW, which is right behind Westchester Airport. So I don't want to start saying specific names or
don't.
But it's easy to get around.
No, we want to get
people,
to that.
People that he knew
yeah.
worked at that place.
Yes.
Okay? And he's the one who set everything in motion. So he went in, he was talking to these people. Now half the people said, we want everybody so how everybody knew him was he didn't want to be at the pool. Right. So he would have, instead of staying at the pool, he would have somebody walk him through CPW and the Bridge School. He likes people who go in there, they'd walk him through. He loves walking. Everybody knew him since then.
Right.
So half of the people, they all wanted him, but half said he doesn't need a one-on-one. Half said he does. So it was up in the air, right? And I don't know any of these people. Never met them. My wife no one ever met them except Justin, right?
Right.
And I met this one lady. I want to say her name in the worst way. I don't want to cause her any issues, right?
Right.
I was sitting on my motorcycle, and I used to go up there and meet my wife there.
Okay.
And then, because I was on the bike, gave me a ride, and then she'd get in her car, and we'd go home. So I'm sitting on the bike, I'm waiting for my wife to show up, and this lady's walking by in the parking lot. And she's like, hey, how you doing? She's like, can I help you with something? Mm-hmm. I said, I'm Justin's dad. And she looked at me and said, oh, I'm such and such. She's the one she's the one that made everything happen originally. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were involved, but she started it all. Mm-hmm. And I looked at her, and I just fucking started crying, man. And I said, why? I said, why did you go to those lengths? Mm. Why? That's awesome. And she said, I had a daughter that had cerebral palsy. Mm-hmm. And she's dead now. She goes, I know that I want somebody to do this for my child. It's just a simple reason, right? But it's not so simple. Mm-hmm. It sounds simple, but it's not so simple. And this lady, she didn't know me. She didn't know anybody. She was doing this just to do it. Who knows how many people she this were?
It was an act of
and she said to us, at graduation day, go in and talk to such and such. She's got the biggest heart in the world. She's a great person. Mm-hmm. But you got to talk to her. She goes, our staff is so good that she never even comes out of her office. Mm-hmm. So we handle our own shit.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Go in there, and talk to her. This is the last resort. We went in and we talked to her, and she was authentic. And people talk out of her ass all the time. How to do this? I'll let you know to call you. They're always blowing smoke up your ass. Her exact words were, "I'll get back to you in a couple of days because I got to come out of this office now and see what's going on." And 2 days later, I got a fucking email that said, "Welcome to CPW." And she said, "Your son has a place here for as long as he wants to stay here. There's no time limit." And I just couldn't. To this day, I still can't believe it. I go, "Is this real?" And he loves it. When Justin wants it, he loves it. He loves those people. Like from his heart, he loves them. And as bad as he is, man, I look at these people and they're incredible, man. They're like those people are. I don't even know how to describe them. Like they don't have to do that job. There's $1 million other jobs, and they're in there. It's probably the most difficult job you could possibly imagine, and they're doing it every day.
And with love too.
Yeah,
With love.
and I'm like, listen, if that didn't occur,
Right.
I would have I couldn't have gone to work anymore because when he was younger, my wife was able to handle him, but now he's 23 and she has a hard time handling him. So what do? Like, this is the fucked up part, what I mean. So I gotta quit my job and stay home? How do I survive, right? How do I feed my family? How? And that's some of the reasons why sometimes people are forced to do certain things, right? I cannot go to work. Yeah. That's fucked up, man. Giving these people ultimatums. That's not right. But meanwhile, these stupid things that they pay for, it's like, I don't get it, man. It's about them getting money. Somehow they're making money off. That's all about money. Yeah. But when money, I have a lot of customers, right? So after I was in high-rise construction,
let's say you have some big time,
all-time big time customers, because that's it's a service that
because you tell them like it is.
If you're paying for that service, not everybody, but that's like if a middle class person not going to pay for a
tell
service
them what
like
you
that.
do. They don't know.
Right, so I'm like
Thank you.
a law doctor.
I was dying to ask Mark,
Tell him what you
but
do,
I just didn't know
So,
if I
Mark,
should
tell
You
us
ask.
saw
what
my
you
truck;
do.
it's hysterical.
It is.
Yeah, right. So I called up these two guys I grew up with. They have a huge landscaping company.
Yes.
And I said, listen, I was at my son's baseball game. My older son, he was like 7 at the time. And I said, if ever comes up opportunity where you guys want to expand or something, I said, just let me know. And he said to me, it's so weird that you called. He goes, we're thinking about starting a tree and lawn company as far as healthcare. So like insect and disease. So that's what I do. All I know for 23 years since I'm 17 is high-rise construction. And I dropped all that, and I started from scratch. I didn't buy a company. I started from scratch, man, and it wasn't easy. But all my clientele's high-end. I should have so much money. I should be sitting around my feet in the air, but I don't. And in the wintertime, I'm looking for a part-time job because I'm an asshole. Because I look at these people, and I like them. How no charge? My wife said to me, every fucking invoice I fold says no charge. Are you out of here? She goes, that's why I have no money. I'm broke. Literally, I'm not even kidding. And I'm like, and at the end, nobody remembers the beginning at the end, right?
That's right.
So at the beginning, I don't stop and say, hey, that fucking guy's a good guy, man. I don't want them to kiss my ass. I just want them to remember.
Right.
You got to remember everything. Don't forget nothing that's a nice thing. It's the smallest thing. Remember it. And at the end, they're like, we're getting somebody new. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, man?
I started with
But
that.
what changes me from another person is I could have truckloads of money, truckloads, endless amount of money. I can change my life. Right. It might make it a little easier for me to pay for stuff, but it's not going to cure my kid. I'm going to still be living the same life.
It ain't gonna be like that other person you were talking about, where you're gonna send your son off.
Yeah.
Say you don't have to deal with it.
It's not going to really. And even if it was, I'm not. Even if it was, I'm not the kind of guy. I'm all about principle. But having it where that on top of it, I look at them, I go, hey, what you do? Take this fucking lawn and stick it up your fucking ass. Like they're going to start kissing their ass or something. Are you out of your fucking mind? And they don't know how to. They are devastated. They've never been spoken to like that before. And I had a guy stalk me. He stalked me. One of the most prestigious streets in Scarsdale is Morris Avenue. And this fucking guy was stalking me. He couldn't. I go, what's this fucking guy doing? He'd been his Range Rover like 2 houses away. He couldn't believe that I said, take this fucking property and stick it up in your fucking miserable wife's ass, because I'm not coming back here, asshole. And they're like, and it's funny because they all send the same exact email. The same email. It says, At this point, I think we should go our separate ways. And I go, are you a fucking idiot? I just told you an hour ago to stick the lawn up your mother's cunt. And now you're telling me we should go our separate ways? Would you think I was going to come back for like soup and a sandwich, you asshole? They all say it because they can't take the fact that
can't take the rejection.
you dumped them.
Yes.
Can't take the rejection.
So the average person's going to take whatever and eat that person's shit because it's the money.
And beg to come back.
The money.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. No problem. I'm running around like some kind of jackass because the money doesn't mean shit. That helps me. I was always that way, but that kind of even makes it easier for me to bring it out because I have buckets full of shit. They can't do nothing for me except. And no matter, I've been up and down the ladder. I've had a lot of money, and I've been like I am now. Where you get the fucking thing that says your account is below what you set it at. And I said like $2. And below $2, and then, you know, I'm at the point where I'm like, I've been here before, man. You know what I'm saying? And I've always worked my way back up to the top.
Yeah,
and I always get kicked back down by this motherfucker. I always get kicked back down my whole life. Like I said, when I was fucking 15 years old, I was 40. I lived the life of a 40-year-old. That's a fact. So he's been kicking me around, man, and now he fed my kid poison, and he's always giving me shit. I'm not a complainer. People have 10 times harder than I do. I know that. But listen, I got it tough, man. I've always did. And I never cried. I always fucking pushed ahead. With people fighting against me, not even help me, ahead, all by myself. So I'm at the point where I don't even panic that much. I'm like, fuck it, man. What are they going to do? Take the house? Take the house. Yeah. Whatever. I don't care. But I always work hard enough. I always find a way to just skim by and make it. But that's tiring, man. You know what I mean? After a while, I'm just fucking tired of that. I'm tired of just skimming by, worrying about.
Get weary of the fight, man.
So I'm tired now, man. Like I said, I'm 56. I'm 70. I lived the life of a 76-year-old. I'm not crying. I'm just telling you the facts. I've hardly had anything positive happen in my life, and it makes me bitter. You know what I'm saying? I never had oh man, look how easy it's going for me. This really worked out great. It always turns into a fucking nightmare at the end. It seems good, but then at the end, it's in a nightmare, and then I have to hear, I told you so, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. I really don't give a shit what you're telling me. But you get tired, right, man?
Get tired of the fight,
always
man.
and I'm not saying I'm the only one.
Fight, man.
But what I so much admire about Mark
you get tired of the fight,
he
man.
doesn't take that out on his boys. That's why
I never take it out of the
That's
house.
why I say
Never.
Mark is one of the greatest fathers, men that I've met in a long time.
I never ever
and
take
Mark,
it out. And
please,
thank you, man. I
because
appreciate
you
you
are
notice that.
like anytime I define a father is the type of person that is selfless. You are selfless.
Yeah,
you
thank you
take
for
the
noticing.
time to do all that stuff you do, and you still, and that's why I appreciate when you always say, like, the time you spend with me and Juan is greatly appreciated.
It's like
Just
people
being
don't understand
here
that.
is greatly
You can't
appreciated
grasp
because of the
it.
peace.
You can't grasp it.
I love it.
He can't
But
grasp it. He can't grasp it. Some people, listen to me. That, like I said, tonight's like a week vacation.
There you go.
And I really mean that. That's how it feels inside my body. When I was all day, I was excited, man. I'm like, oh man, tonight's a thing. I was excited, man. Like, I think anybody would have been excited, but I'm like, I can't even tell you, man, because I don't have that, man. I don't have that time. I don't have time to sit there and talk to somebody. I don't have time to do something by myself. Right. So when it does come up, man,
Tell him
it's
your
fucking,
schedule. Tell him your schedule, please.
I wake up. My son wakes up really early. Sometimes 4 a.m. Sometimes the latest he'll sleep at 6 o'clock, right? Okay. The second that kid opens his eyes, the second, it's fucking terror. I wake up, he's peeling a piece of sheetrock, he's destroying this, but he's not doing it in a fit. So it's a bizarre disorder. It's a bizarre disorder, man. And I can't figure it out. I don't know who can figure it out. I've never seen anything like that. He's never not doing something bad. Never. Unless he's getting ready to go sleep. And I mean, when I tell you never, I mean never. He's fucking constantly. So, listen, I'm like, in my head or whatever, I'm like, oh man, I need a fucking break. But now tonight when I go home, right, I'm gonna wish he was there. I sat at my son's house. And most people be like, oh man, a free night, right? I feel like that at first, but at night, I feel sick to my stomach because he cooked every night. He squeezes his way over, right up against me, and he puts his arm over me. He wants to know I'm there, right? So sometimes I get up, I get up in the middle and do something. I'll see him. He inches his way all the way over, and he feels for me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so that 30 seconds of seeing his face in ease or showing affection, that fucking wipes the slate clean, man. It takes everything out of me. You know what I'm saying? All day I'm like, this fucking kid, man, I can't take it no more. Sometimes I'm ready to jump out the fucking window. I swear to God, man. And when I say nonstop, it's from the time he opens his eyes till the time he goes to sleep.
Does it seem like, does he plot it? Like, is it plotted or is it just
he knows exactly. He knows exactly what he's doing, man. He knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. Sometimes it takes us 3 hours for him to take his medicine. Justin, come and take your medicine. Not sometimes. Sometimes it's 3 hours. Best case scenario, 45 minutes. Just let's take a bath. It's defiance disorder. Yeah. It's bizarre. No. So even if you ask him, Justin, you want to go to McDonald's? He'll say no first. No. And he'll walk away, but then he comes right back and says, okay, McDonald's. So if he doesn't want to do something, man, he ain't doing it. You're not making him do it. There's no way. When he had that one episode at the hospital.
That story about the hospital. Yeah, this is crazy.
This was something new he did. Plus he was getting older. He was still little. He must have been like 15 maybe. Nah. My older son was like 19. So that would make him like 9 or like 9 or 10. He started having these violent outbursts, right? Like he'd get up but he wouldn't just do what he's doing now. Like they were violent,
right?
And it wouldn't. And I kept thinking it was going to stop. It's going to stop. It's going to stop. It's going to stop. And it wouldn't stop, man. The only thing that we'd have to do was, as soon as I got home from work, we'd put him in the car and drive. Sometimes for 6 or 7 hours, just drive and drive and drive and drive. Sometimes for 6 or 7 hours, man, until he was so exhausted that he was ready to go inside. And you still didn't know when we got inside, something violent was going to happen. And my son said, Dad, man, he was holding his legs, and I had him on just, and it wasn't easy to hold him, man. Yeah. And if I show you a picture of my oldest son, you'd think he was a professional football player. He's a beast. He's this fucking thick from his chest. He's a monster. He was as delicate as a butterfly. Wow. And he wouldn't so much step on an ant, that kid. So it's not, I say he's a beast. That's just because he is, but not his personality.
Right. I got you.
We couldn't hold him, man. And he said, Dad, we got to take him to the hospital, man. And I in worst way, I didn't want to take him there, man. I was devastated, but we took him up the block to Westchester Medical. Yeah. And we're in the waiting room. And he plants, I don't know where he plants himself, especially on the floor, though. If he plants himself on the floor, I don't give a fuck who you are. You ain't moving that kid, man. He knows how to move, or I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but you can't move him, man. You are not moving that son of a bitch, not even an inch. He's maneuvering his body in a certain way, and his weight, you're not going to get him up. So I've learned not even to bother trying. When he's ready to get up, he gets up. And that's what he does. He gets on the floor and he looks at you. And I'm like, this son of a bitch, I'm going to fucking wring his fucking neck in a minute. I'm like, Justin, I got to go to work, bro. Put your fucking shoes on. No! And he laughs at you. He's on the floor, and I'm like, Justin, please, bro, begging you, man, please. I'm begging you, please. And then he comes over, and he puts his foot in the shoe, he goes, he laughs at you, he pulls his shoe out, and he fucks with you. He laughs at him, and he gets to the point where you're crying from frustration. And my wife's, what we do now is, it's always a different scenario. For the past year, it's been, there's Panchitos, right?
Yes.
Deli.
Yes.
He loves Panchitos.
Okay.
So my wife has to go down to Panchitos, right? Well, before this, I used to have to get, even whether I was leaving or not, I used to have to get up. It could be fucking 7 feet of snow. I used to have to get on my motorcycle, follow them to Panchitos. I would go inside, corn muffin, and some other shit, and I'd come out, I'd put in his lunchbox, and they would go. Okay. Had to happen, because it's got OCD. Yeah. That's, it has to be a lot of repetitive shit. Then it moved to, my wife goes down there by herself, and I stay in the house with him. And she comes back home, parks in the driveway. She's out there sometimes for 3 hours. Wow. In the car waiting, and I'm trying to get him, Justin, please, bro, put your shoes on. And he just fucking looks at me and says, nah. And then when he's ready to do it, then he does it. But, I mean, this night was unbelievable. Sometimes I get tired, man, because he's always on the move. Right. And when he's in a certain mood, I follow him around. And that gets tiring, so I go, Justin, I'm fucking going upstairs, asshole. I take him up in the room, and I take a chair. My bedroom door opens in. So I take a chair, just like this, and I put it against the door. I sit there like this. And he can't get it. He can't go anywhere. One day, from 6 o'clock in the morning 6 in the morning, I took that chair and I was sitting it like this. And we were there until 6 o'clock at night. Wow. And I didn't budge. And he stood in front of me and kept saying, doorknob, and reaching for the door for 12 fucking hours. He said, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe that. And I couldn't believe it. I wasn't moving. It was a battle, man. It was a battle between us, and he didn't give a shit. He could have stood there for another 12 hours. I said, I can't do it. My wife was going, you guys are out of your minds. I go, I'm not getting out of his chair. And he won, man. I got the fuck out of that chair. And he opened the door, and he went to do whatever the fuck he wanted to do.
Patient, too. He's patient.
Man, for 12 hours, he stood in front of me. I couldn't believe it. I said, I can't believe this kid's doing this. I can't believe it's 12 hours he's standing in front of me. I've never seen anybody with such willpower. And if he doesn't want to do it, I can't do it. But we take him to the hospital, and she was a nasty bitch. She came out, and she's like, hey, listen, if you guys can't, and she looked at like, she was surprised because he was still little.
Right.
She looked at my son and she looked at me. She's like, you guys can't get him up? And I'm like, how we can't get him up? She can't comprehend it. She goes, well, I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes. If you can't get him into an exam room, I'm going to call a code, whatever. And I go, what the fuck is that? And she goes, at 10, 12 guys are going to come down here, and they're going to get him onto a gurney. And I didn't want to see that happen, man, right? Mm-hmm. But sure enough, it happened. And my son was throwing these guys around like they were fucking made of paper.
9 years old.
Including myself and my son. He was throwing, you should have, the expression on these guys' faces, it was like a movie. Finally, and I think because he finally said, all right, I'll get on the gurney. But he could have kept going. Got him on the gurney. The lady said, we gave him 4 times the amount of sedative it takes an average person to fucking go to sleep. 4 times the amount. So he can fight that. I don't know how he's fighting it. If he's doing it mentally or it's his makeup, but he's fighting that shit off. And he finally fucking fell asleep, man. And certain things were burnt to my memory. And I'm a crier, man. I cry all the time. Mm-hmm. And I walked out of that room, I looked at my son, and it broke my fucking heart. And I walked out, and there was a nurse sitting on a chair outside the room. And she said, hey, can I tell you something? She was young. She was probably like 18, 19, 20 years old, in her 20s. And she says, I tell you something. She goes, you're a special person. She goes, I see this all the time, and the dads are never here. She said, the dads are never here. So you should be really proud of yourself, man. She goes, I rarely see this happening. And I looked at her, man, and I tell you, touched me. She I wonder, did somebody tell her to say that? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, an upper, like some kind of...
No, she said it, but Mark, she said it exactly too.
But it's like...
She doesn't normally see.
She noticed, like, most people don't notice shit. Some kind of outside force get to her and say, you gotta, I don't know, man, certain things that just, like, happen, and I'm like, that's not a normal thing to happen, man. And I turned around, I looked at her, and she looked at me, I was hysterical, she goes, you're a special kind of person. And I fucking walked away, man. And I cried for a kid, not for me. That poor kid. And I fucking look at him, I go, I'm saying to myself, why, man? Why my fucking kid? Why any kid that's heartbreaking, but he's my son, especially, I mean. And I recently, I had a brain tumor. Yeah. He gave me a brain tumor. I fucking beat that shit. It was a baseball-sized tumor. I beat that motherfucker. Then I got another tumor in my intestines, right? And I came out of they examined me, whatever, the recovery room. And this motherfucker, literally, he fucking walked through the door. I woke up, and my wife was standing there. And son of a bitch walked in like he was asking what I want for breakfast. He said to me, you got a really large tumor in your intestine. And I go, is it cancer? He goes, yeah, it's cancer. He goes, like it was nothing. And I started to cry. Not for me. The first thing I thought about, like you said, is your kids, right? Kids. That's why I bring this up. Instantly, I thought of my son. I can't go anywhere. Listen, if that kid didn't exist, if I didn't have no kids, and my life's the way it is, just like I picked this up right here, dude, like this, I'd go upstairs to my room, and I'd blow the top of my fucking head off like I'm taking a sip of this. I don't even think about it. I'd go put myself out of my misery, man, in a second. But I can't do that because I have my boys.
You have kids.
I have my boys, man. And this guy said to my wife, what's he crying about? I cried about it. I felt like getting punched with it. First of all, just in general, just telling somebody that they have cancer, right? Yeah. Second of all, you don't know what my situation is. Like, it was nothing. What the fuck's wrong with this guy? Is he out of his mind? And my wife said, hey, we have a special needs kid. And he didn't even blink. He went, oh, and he turned around and walked out. And the worst way, man, I wanted to get up and wring his fucking neck, man. It was nothing.
Was that a doctor?
Yeah, he was a fucking surgeon.
Wow.
Listen, this other motherfucker tells
went
you.
into the we talked about that.
People are fucking horrible, man.
Some of the episodes. It's just I always tell people like there's a level of misery around people that when there's that misery level, they'll try to put that emphasis on you and make you miserable. And I don't get it. That is one of
That's no feeling at all.
That is
I don't care if you deal with it every day.
Life,
it's no feeling.
That is one of the mysteries of life. Is why people, and I for the life of me I can't figure it out. Why people in a country that is supposed to be so rich, why do we have homeless? Why do we have miserable people in this country? And it's because there's two.
Because of money.
There's two S words. The S words I said to you the other day. There's people that are selfless, that are not miserable because they give up themselves, and everything they do is for others. And then there's the selfish. And the selfish people are the ones that get money, and what do they have? 10 cars, 5 this. But yet you walk around and we see all these homeless people. We see people with disabilities. Why? Why? I can't, and I'm going to ask this to politicians.
You know what?
Can I ask this to politicians?
I think about
This is
I can't even think of a reason, right?
Question.
Can't think of a reason for it.
This is not a carrier insurance question. This question is for the politicians. Why do we not have more coverage through the federal government for kids like his? Why? For Marks. Excuse me, Mark. Why?
You know what I have to go through to get my kid to a dentist? If I told you what we had to go through to get my son for a cleaning, I can't
And
believe
you can't
that
put him out, right? You can't put him out. He can't be.
We have to take him. He won't stay in a chair. So we have to take him to the hospital.
And they can't.
And they put him out.
Right. Oh, okay.
But either way, whether it was that or whether it was just doing an office visit, the extent of shit that we had to go through, I was like, this is insanity. Yeah, man. And then on the other hand, you got these fucking lowlives and just get shit. They're put in their pockets and just flying around like it's nothing. What about all the other people that deserve it, or the kids that deserve it and really need it? Nobody gives a fuck, it seems. And that's why my friend Dave said, nobody gives a fuck. Just remember, no one's going to think like you think. Hardly anybody thinks that way. Because of this, that's why.
Yeah, man.
Most of the time, it's because of this.
But Mark.
Oh.
Fucking love you, man.
And listen to me.
Hold up.
You two guys here, man, and you two, bro, I ain't gonna leave you out of it. Because that kid you can feel people's energy, man. I know I can. And when I was talking to you guys, that was something special, man. I'll never forget being in that room laughing with you two guys. Never. It's burnt to my memory. And tonight's burnt to my memory. That kid right there, man, he gives off good energy, man.
Yeah,
he's intelligent. He speaks intelligently. And just from what you said about him, I have all the respect in the world for him. Yeah. And you could feel it.
And when Mark gives you respect, you feel it.
I'm just trying to stay.
He's 100%, man.
And like he said, if anything was that and you call him, he's on the first plane or wherever.
That's a fact, man. People talk. I'm coming, bro.
I just want to get. I'm not finished with you. One.
You started to boss the shit out of
I gotta get to you, man, because I gotta get to one story real quick.
His show. He's running
Let me get one story. So I just want to get to Juan Cabrera here. My love for Juan is probably beyond anything. He started me in the business. He took me in. He taught me the business.
Oh, bro.
Come on, let me finish.
He didn't teach you how that attitude, though, did he? I don't see it acting that way.
You're not gonna let me finish?
Bro, and I wanted to interject now, and I wanted to say this before he goes further. Bro, you know how I feel about it.
Thank you. Okay. And I'm the same. But I want to get to Juan's story because, I mean, Mark, I can't say enough. Mark is, like I said, Mark is a father of a father of a father. I mean, the man is just. I can't.
Amazing.
I don't even have the words for
there's no
Mark
word,
has
there's
dealt
no words
with.
to describe him.
But I also want to get to Juan Cabrera here, who basically took on another family that was and was demographically challenged. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know, Juan married into
but don't mention the culture.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay.
Juan married into
You
a
stopped
culture,
him right there. You stopped.
Juan married into a culture that's not very accepting of people that are dark.
Okay.
But he took on 3 kids? 3. 3 plus his 3 adults. And
we had another.
And have another,
yeah.
Which is crazy because that is like a mix, the mix from hell. But what I love about, I want Juan to tell his story because we are talking about fart again. You know, and fart at the end of fart is terrific, and that is what's the acronym again? Fathers are real terrific or real terrible. So I'm gonna give one real terrific. This man is just real tremendous. Whatever T I can give to you, I'm gonna give you that.
Terrible. I like terrible.
What? Tremendous? What?
Like terrible.
No, we can say no.
My
terrible?
The license plate of my bike says mayhem. I like mayhem.
But
it's interesting. It's not
no, you know what? I'm gonna get you one called fart.
But here,
because you.
But here's terrific.
When somebody notices anybody,
Terrific.
Yeah.
it makes you
Tolerance.
feel like. And when I was talking to you guys,
Yeah.
I noticed, man, nobody had to tell me your life story or your life story. It just shows, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you.
You could see right away when I talk to somebody, I'm like, this fucking guy lived a life, man. Whoever it is, maybe. And then you could tell people who haven't lived a life. And I look at him and go, this guy's a little spoiled son of a bitch. Yeah. So you don't even have to know the facts about the person's life. When I was talking to you guys, it was real. I said, these two guys are the real deal, man. And I felt, you could feel it, man.
Yep.
If people that can't feel it, I said, how can I feel it from that person, good or bad? And I was having the best time. Like I said, that hour was a vacation for me, man. That was one of the funnest moments I had. We were laughing our balls off, man.
We laughed.
Yeah, we had fun.
He almost
brother.
struck me.
And if you don't know,
We laughed.
to me,
Cried, man.
To me, I would love to manage Mark's career when he becomes a comedian. Because his stories are
man,
so
forget about it.
freaking real.
You guys ever hear of
Mark, he would be. Hold up, there's a dude
Listen
named
to
Mark
this.
Vieira.
Have you ever heard of?
But he would be Mark. Oh
guy.
man, he would.
Mark was the
He would
shit.
take
What's
Mark
his name yelled
Vieira
at
out
me?
in a
He was
heartbeat.
one of the biggest stars. Listen to this. I ended up at his house exterminating because I also exterminated. Okay? I know who the fuck he was. My wife knows all the old actors and actresses. She's big on that. So she goes. I said a lot of times I have to take them with me when I go do something after hours. And this guy's name was Robert Klein.
Oh wow.
Okay. I know who the fuck Robert Klein was. So she showed me pictures. I go, it looks familiar. I go to his house, right, in Briarcliff. I walk to the door, and the door was open, and there was a screen, just a screen. And there's a lady standing there, and he was behind her. And like I said, I'd never seen the guy. I wasn't familiar with him. And she said to me, she looked at me, and she goes, it's the first thing she said to me, she goes, you're the reason I'm leaving. And I go, I know that. I felt it when I was walking across the parking lot. And we just started laughing, right? And he kept looking at me, right?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And we're in there, and I'm cracking jokes left and right.
Yes.
And he's fucking looking at me, right? And he was pissed that I was funnier than him. I go, hey, Robert, look at you. I said, you're fucking mad that I'm funnier than you.
I'm getting him a contract.
He
He's
was
gonna be a
he was
big-
best
he's gonna
friends with
go.
Rodney Dangerfield, okay?
Whoa, yes,
Best
he
friends.
was. Yes, he was.
Rodney Dangerfield used to do siding. He had a siding company, okay? He wanted to, his wife wasn't nice to the kids. He wanted to be closer to home, and he was a comedian. There was a club for sale on the corner, and he didn't have enough money. Robert Klein said, he goes, Mark, his walls are covered with, I'm looking at, he's an impressive person, the people that he's stood next to.
Okay.
And I didn't realize he was that big a person. He was married to Marilyn Chambers, the porn star. This guy's been around. And he had me laugh my ass off. He said, Rodney Dangerfield was my best friend. He goes, I had $5,000 in the bank. And he was going to go to the wise guys to borrow the money. I said, nah, don't go because they're never going to leave. I gave him my last $5,000 to buy that place. And he bought it, and it took off from there.
Dangerfields.
Yeah. No, this was a little tiny club
Before the one
where
in
he lived.
Manhattan.
Yeah,
Before
but
the one in
way
Manhattan.
back when he first started.
Okay.
He goes, me and him were on a boat. He goes, we rented a boat. We were in California or something. He goes, neither one of us knew about a sailboat. He goes, we're out in the fucking ocean. He goes, and I'm in the back like this. And Rodney's at the helm. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. He goes, what you saw in the movies?
Yeah.
That's who he is.
That's what it was,
He goes,
yeah.
Rodney, actually, he goes, that's it. I give up. And he fucking jumped in the ocean. He jumped in the fucking ocean. He goes, I had to save him. He jumped in the fucking ocean, man. He he goes, I'm not doing this no more. And Robert Klein pulled him back on the fucking boat. And I go, I can't believe it. But at the end of the day, Robert Klein realized that I'm funnier than him. And he was annoyed. And he looked at me and he looked at me, I swear to God, he goes, you're a special kind of individual. And he was annoyed. And he fucking walked out. And I text him to this day, and he won't text me back. And I go, see, Robert? I call Bobby. I said, I didn't feel comfortable calling you Bobby. I go, you know that I'm funnier than you, and you can't take it. It's fucking unreal. And another customer of mine, his daughter married married Robert Klein's son.
Okay.
And they're my customers, the best people in the world. And I go, "How's Bobby doing?" Right? And she starts laughing, and she says, "Yeah, he's a tough one, man." I never realized what a big star he was. He was a big timer.
Let me get 5 minutes with him. Come on. I'm sorry I'm so demanding. Come on, Juan, quick.
And watch the decibels,
And I want you
bro.
to ask some questions too.
Eyes are popping out.
I want you to. You're a consortium member, so you're gonna ask some questions.
When we're done.
Go for it, Juan. Start from. I want to start from the beginning. The three with your first wife, and then let's get to how you took on the responsibility of the 4 now.
Okay.
Go ahead. Because that story, that's a dad's story.
There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end, just like everything else. So I had 3.
I get to my.
I talk.
I have three children with my first wife, and then after that relationship came to an end, I wasn't looking for anything or anyone. I was very excited in terms of how my life was going to turn out after the divorce, but I did meet somebody. I met my current wife, and she came with a package. I knew that it was there. She did come with 3 children. 2 of them were here in the U.S., and then one of Lenora, my daughter, came in later on. But it's the way that I saw it was, look, I'm starting something new. She comes as a package, and when somebody comes as a package, you really can't divide the package. You got to take it as it is, for better or for worse. You can love a woman, but you will not get that love back if you don't show love and kindness to her children.
That's right.
I've always been a big proponent of that. And my job, whether they wanted to have a relationship with me or not, I didn't ask that question. My thing was to treat them with kindness and respect. They were very little, so it made it easy for me. I wasn't expecting along the road that we would produce a child together, because I really wasn't looking for that. I was looking to pretty much spend the rest of my life with her and with our children. And we have made an agreement very early on, and as all men should, that, look, I have mine and you have yours. I'm coming to you and I'm taking on what we have with yours. They're very young, but the only thing that I ask is that they treat me with respect, and that we will both be the parents of them. They had their biological fathers. One, for his reasons, decided that he wasn't going to be in their lives, and I never questioned that. Look, we all have our fucking inner demons, and I have dealt with enough of mine. So I am not at a point where I can judge somebody, particularly a man, for doing what he did. I don't know his circumstances. I don't know what he went through. Look, not there. That's a question that I don't ask. You never ask a fucking question that you really don't want to answer to. You don't want the answer to. So I took it on, and it is what it is. I will say this.
What were the challenges because of that? Because what were the challenges specifically when it comes to the demographic?
There are, and I'll say this, and I'll keep it to this. My current wife had to make certain sacrifices within her culture to be with me. That was honorable, and that was enough for me to accept her for the way that she was. I wasn't expecting that. She did it out of her own free will, and that's admirable. The children that I took on, my stepchildren, I took them on of my own free will. No one twisted my arm.
Right.
They didn't. I did. But it's been very rewarding. I'll keep it to that. Children, for the most part, are very rewarding, whether they're mine biologically or they're the ones that I took up on and raised. And the reason why I chose to take them on and to raise them is because at the end of the day, even if they tell me in some point in the future, look, you're not my father, you can't tell me what to do. I did it because it was the right and admirable thing to do as a man. And that is what you do.
Man. That's what the respect. That's how you earn your respect, man. You have to earn respect. Correct. You got to do something to prove. I think you have to. Not that you have to prove something to people, but you have to show people you can't even fucking respect my ass because of this.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I mean?
But
And you don't even have to know it. Like I said, I didn't know your story, man. We were in there laughing and joking around. I didn't know nothing about you.
Laughing
but
and
I had
crying,
respected
brother.
you. And there had been some kind of reason for it.
Yeah.
You just tell by the way a person carries themselves, what they're laughing at, what they're not laughing at, what they say. Like I said, you don't have to put it to a specific thing. But I could tell by same thing with you. And like I said, I don't talk out of my ass.
appreciate it.
If I thought sourly of you, I'd say, you know what? I don't really fucking like you, bro. And that's a fact. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I would. I'm the last thing I am is a phony, man. What you see is what you get with me. If you like it or not, I don't really give a shit. I put an act on for anybody, for nobody,
But
for nothing.
I just want to ask you, like the challenges of you taking on other people's responsibilities when it comes
That's
to.
unbelievable.
It's not that.
That's off the charts.
We
I've
say-
watched the Gentleman's Wine. This is just like you.
Thank you.
Jitka, okay?
Yes.
Jitka. She ended up meeting this guy, Vito. It's not her kid, his kids, right?
Right.
And it was the most touching thing I ever saw. My shop and where they were living is half a block from Mamaroneck train station, and there's stairs that go downstairs. And one of the problems was with this child was walking. She finally, this poor kid, all the operations. I mean, a lot of operations, not little big operations. That this poor little girl, she was a beautiful little girl. And he didn't know I was there. I was in my truck and I was watching him. He was holding her hand. And this fucking guy, and I told him when I saw him, it was the most touch I ever saw. He was walking her up and down those stairs. And every time they got to the top of the stairs, he'd give her a kiss, man. And he didn't know nobody was watching him. And I was watching him, no. And I saw him that time. I told him, I says, that was the most beautiful thing I ever saw, man. That's nobody's going to do that shit, man. That's not your kid. But you're sure as hell. He sure as hell feels like it's his kid. Not only acting, he feels that that's his child, man. Awesome. And that's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I said, that guy's the top of the list for me, man. And that's the same thing you're doing. That's why I just told you before. You're top tier, man.
So here's this, and I'm gonna give you two short stories with my daughter, with my stepdaughter.
Lenora.
Wait,
I love you, Lenora.
I got her when I got her when she was 5 years old. But I got her when she was 5 years old. She had just come back from Europe, and I met her for the first time. I took her a teddy bear and all this, and I remember that for the first, she found me. We were living. My wife and I were at that point. We were already living in. I had already moved in, and I could have sworn that this little girl had it out for me. She would look at me from a corner, and I was like, "Oh shit, this kid is planning my death. What the fuck is going on?" And I would talk. She spoke a different language, and I would speak to her, but I would try to speak to her. And my wife would tell me, "Look, don't worry about it. She's gonna pick up the English language really, really fast. That's what kids do here." And I know, but it's this kid is stalking me. It's kind of it's weird because she would look at me from corners. I was like, "What? Yeah. It's what the fuck is going on?"
The new one, Morgan.
Oh yeah, that was unbelievable.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on, man? But here's this, because life happens, and life really, truly is beautiful, man. Because shit happens to you, and you say, wow, that's like a real Forrest Gump type shit. One day, we were at the beach, and I remember that I was walking, right? And I turned around, and I tell this to my daughter all the time. It's like, yeah, Dad, I remember that. I'm like, you remember that? She goes, yeah, I do. And I look down, and I got my back, and I feel something holding my hand. And I'm like, and I turn around, and I see her, and she's holding my hand, and she's looking down, and I look down, and I say, what the fuck is this? And she looks up at me, and she smiles, and I was like, that's awesome. Oh, shit, I just did it.
That's it, bro.
That's it.
That's it.
You're mine.
That was she made her decision.
That's it. It's like, wow, I was accepted into the clan. It's like, okay, cool.
Is that not the most unbelievable feel world?
It is.
Grab your hand.
It is.
You could feel it, man. That must have been off the charts,
it was
especially that
off
she was showing you the opposite.
Fucking charts,
yeah,
bro.
man.
Off
especially
the charts.
that she was showing you. She wasn't showing you that at all. Just normally it's good, but that right there.
She was testing you.
And here's this,
she tested you in the beginning.
Lenora is always. My daughter has. From a child, I always looked at her and I would say, man, how can anybody abandon something as beautiful as you and as gorgeous as you? I couldn't get it. As a father, I was like, I just want to have you and hold you close to my arms because you are just such a beautiful little girl. I mean, she's an adult now. She's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah, man.
And now I'm on a different scale altogether. But
kill
when
all
she
the
was like,
boys.
yeah. No, I got two guns. Brother, listen, I got two guns for all of you know. I got one for the white boy and I got one for the white. I got one for the white boys and I got one for the black boys. The one for the black boys is bigger.
The
because
Latinos will throw.
the Latinos go away.
Latinos will throw a banana at you.
The African American guys, they come back
we'll
with
get the
backup and
cookie.
shit. So I needed a bigger gun.
We'll get the
But I remember, and this is the last part that I'm going to tell you. My daughter got scarlet fever one time, and she was already like in her teens. And I remember, she wasn't in her teens. I'm sorry, she was like 8 or 9. And my wife had called me. She told me, "Listen, I need you to take her to the doctor because." And I'm like, "Yo," I was like, "Fuck it, I'll do it. Come on, she's with me. She's mine. I'll take her." Get to the doctor's office, and it's like, "Oh, Juan, she's got scarlet fever," and
Wow.
And I was like, what are you gonna do with that? Are you gonna do something? What the fuck? I mean, do something. I want this fucking rash to go away. And she's like, yeah, we just gotta give her the inoculation, and then she'll be fine. Don't worry, that it's harmless. And she goes, okay, so tell the nurse outside to bring me an inoculation for her, for scarlet fever, and to also bring me a volume. And I'm like, well, what's the fucking volume for? You're gonna give her drugs now? She goes, no, the volume is for you because you look like you're getting ready to have a heart attack, bro. And at that point, I got it. I was like, oh shit, these feelings of protecting, and I called them my daughter. It's like
there's not more you care
shit.
about.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, here you go.
That's
it's like
strong feelings, man.
yeah, doesn't
when
have to be
somebody
biological.
disrespects those, you can't deal with it, right?
I can't.
Yeah,
I
so that's
can't.
what I'm trying. When someone disrespects that feeling,
Yeah, I
or
can't.
or just shits on it,
I can't.
That's hard to deal with.
But okay, so that's gonna bring me to another story. So, and I'm not gonna mention their names. So she recently had a boyfriend, and I'm like, okay, so
How old is she?
she's already 18, but she's like, this guy was courting her, and I'm like, well, when am I gonna see this guy? And she's like, well, Dad, I really don't want him to meet you because it might be difficult. And I said, no, okay, so you know what? I don't have to meet him. I just want to know a little bit more about him. So it started getting a little bit weird, and certain things started to happen, and I'm like, listen, I need to meet this guy because this shit can't go on.
Did it start to sound serious?
She's like, he would like, this boy would like, he started getting on my bad side because one thing that I can't handle is somebody like rejecting her or playing games with her.
Oh.
There's certain things started to happen, and I'm like, no.
Right.
So at that point, I realized that, oh shit, you know what? You are a father. Yeah, those feelings, because once you get to that point where you can't accept certain things to be done to your children, it's like, I don't accept that shit. I don't accept that shit.
You just won't.
No,
Right?
but
under any
it's
circumstances,
okay.
I'm not.
Fuck that.
No matter what happens, I'm not dealing with that bullshit.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not dealing with that
That's
shit.
it. It's
No,
a
because
final
it's something
decision.
that
You're not even considering it.
Yeah, you see the way that I treat your mother. Your mother's the fucking exception, not the rule. And like, I don't fuck around with that. I expect him or whoever you're dating, and I don't give a fuck what they are. Black, Chinese, yellow, green, white, pink with fucking purple polka dots. I don't give a shit about that. As long as he doesn't mistreat you and treat you right. That's all I give a shit about.
And I'll say
That's all you should care about.
I'll say to these young guys, I mean, I don't get it. I know when we were coming up, my stepfather taught me how to be a gentleman, how to make sure that, your etiquette is up. Never to walk around with your pants, walk in a gentleman's house to meet his daughter, and your pants is down below your knees.
That's
I don't get it.
That's big.
Let's not go there,
I just
bro.
want to
Let's not
bring
go
up
there.
the
Let's not
fact
go
that, to all you young guys out there that are, that word right there, that word courting, that is like.
What the fuck is that?
Texting is not courting.
Nah, man, nobody even knows how to talk to each other.
Instagram is not courting.
Nah.
What else? TikToks are not courting.
Yeah, but
courting is where you actually.
And I'll say this: we're living in different times, and you and I know it. I mean,
man.
fuck, you and I grew up with what? 8-track tapes.
8-track tapes.
And what? The Walkman.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, for the love of God, my kids walked into my father's garage, and they're like, "Dad, what's up with that TV?" And I'm like. Why? What is it? Because it's a fucking house and it has knobs on it. I'm like,
did it have a metal?
Remember the What the hell?
game.
What the hell was that other thing?
The remote
guys,
control,
DC, the
my
VHR,
first-
whatever.
Yeah.
What the fuck channels?
My
are those?
first
Never
video
came,
game,
never?
my
What the
first
fuck?
video game
It has
was
no
Atari
remote?
with 2 lines and a ball that went
Yeah.
bang, bang, bang.
And why do
So-
those antennas still have aluminum on? Don't worry about that.
And back in those days, we had what, 4 or 5 channels? We had 5 channels.
You had 2 in Spanish, 41 and 48.
And then we had channel 2, channel 5,
And they were on different
channel
dials.
7.
Bro.
Yeah, that's
Different
it.
dials.
That's
yeah,
right. Oh.
100.
And then at a certain time, you go to have the big circle with the noise on, right?
Yeah, and you had the UHF's channels.
Yeah.
What the UHF, man?
Yeah,
I mean, what's all you get a little port on there,
Where's the
remember?
remote control?
Just the sound of it. I'd be like,
looking
I
at
like
it.
the
My
sound.
brother
Remote
used to
control.
smack me in the back of the neck and
Remote
go
was-
change the
No,
channel.
later for that, remote control was a chancleta to the back of my head to go change the
Go
channel.
change the channel.
Not even like a hit in the head. It was a
Yeah.
chancleta.
And
All right.
between
Hold on.
5 and 7 when the novela
Does
was
anybody
on,
remember?
forget about
I
it.
still get sick to my stomach if I hear it. There's 2 things that make me sick. I hated school, man. I fucking dreaded it. And Sunday nights was MASH. Remember MASH?
MASH, man.
If I hear that MASH music, dude, I'm gonna go throw up. To this day, it makes
I was
me
about to
sick.
sing.
And then I remember
Traumatized.
my father would sit on Sundays. He would be in his fucking lounge chair.
Couldn't talk.
Do you remember the $1 Million movie?
Oh,
$1 Million
oh.
movie. And the music they play was from Gone with the Wind.
That's true.
And that music I hear,
Oh
I
my
knew it was
God,
Sunday.
man! The $1
Hold
Million
up, you know-
movie. Oh
$1
no!
Million
Hold up.
movie. And it was
Hold
always
up,
like a
what?
John Wayne movie.
Shit.
What?
An old
Life
Army
has
movie,
ended,
right?
man.
You remember Hold up? You remember the hand?
Oh, yeah. Creature feature, man.
Feature feature.
Loved it.
All right, give me, because I got 10 minutes left. I want to get to my 2 dads, and my 2 dads, my father and my stepfather. I do have a mother, so if
Let
you're
this
out
guy
there
talk a little
thinking
bit.
crazy,
Hasn't said a peep, man.
yeah, if you
trying
haven't,
to steal the whole
we're
show.
gonna get to him.
We're gonna get to.
All right.
We're gonna get to Daniel.
So I take 2 things from my stepfather and my father. One, my father was a selfless individual who did travel baseball for inner city kids, who was able to father, a tremendous amount of kids because of the ability to have kids do something during the summer that they wouldn't have naturally to do. And if you don't know, back in the days when we were growing up, people were losing their life to the street like real fast. And I think my father took on that responsibility to teach young men etiquette, confidence, even though he did a lot more than just baseball. He did educational programs. He helped them with homework. He did everything he needed to do to build young men into men before, and that's where I get my selflessness from, was the ability. And also I learned one of the things I talked to Juan about and I talked to you about, if we get to see it when we pass on and you're in the grave and you rise up, your appreciation for all the people you served. And hopefully you get to see it. And I think one of the things my father preached to me was that, and his funeral was like, there had to be at least over 200 to 300 people.
well, that's
at
the
his
saying, isn't it?
Mostly,
you know
mostly
how good
young
a
men.
person was by the amount of people in his funeral.
Yep,
His
mostly
verse.
young men with their kids, with jobs and families, and that's
Why? Because they remembered the beginning.
That's right. And that's why that's that half. Then my stepfather, I'm gonna go back to, my stepfather taught me a lot about sales. And we don't do sales anymore, we do options. But he taught me, he was an independent businessman. He worked at a shoe store in the Bronx on 3rd Avenue, Fred Michaels, which was one of the most popular. But he taught me how to dress. He taught me how to talk when it comes to what we do now. And he also taught me how to, because he took me on, and I wasn't easy. I'll say that. And then they have my sister, who is awesome. The ability, and that's why I appreciate your story, because the ability for a man to come in and take over another man's
That's special.
responsibility
Most people don't do that.
is one of the things that I find that last T to be tremendous. Because there's a lot of men out there that would take the T
Easy
would
road.
mean trifling, because they leave their kids. And they have trifling, yo. If you trifling, if you're a trifling dad, just take that T for what it is.
Again,
You trifling.
brother. I will say this. And
Right.
I want to say this in full disclosure, and I want to reiterate this. I don't know the reason.
Yeah.
I don't ask.
No.
For whatever reason, their father decided to do what he did.
Yep.
I am not judging.
No.
I am not judging.
I'll judge it for you.
I can't judge.
I'll judge it for you. I don't care.
I have
Yeah, you know what?
I have my
You're too
inner
nice
demons.
because
Yeah.
there shouldn't be any reason.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
You know that. Is there any reason that you could think of at all that you would walk away from your kids? No,
That's
there's
right.
not, right?
And I'm gonna say,
you know what, Mark?
and that's-
There's
You're
no
right.
reason.
You're
Yeah,
right.
man.
And but my thing is,
And you're a
this.
good man for saying that.
Yeah.
Because
But-
I
and
wouldn't.
that's-
I wouldn't say
I
what you
wouldn't.
just said.
I'm
And
not.
I give you respect for.
But I won't go there.
I wouldn't.
And I won't go
I'd be
there.
all
but,
over that
but you know
motherfucker.
what? And I would say this. At the end of the day, I look at it this way. You basically did me a favor because you made it easy for me.
That's right.
If you would have been in their lives,
Yeah.
I would have had to
It would've
deal
been-
with other shit.
Yeah.
But by walking away and saying, "Yo, bro,
I'm done.
I'm done."
Clearing the way.
It's
I'm
everybody
cool.
favor.
Clearing. But let me get back. I just want to say that both of my fathers are gone. They've been gone for a while, but the way, the ability to instill certain things into me that I've now passed on to my son, and he's on his way. Is one of the greatest things that I feel fathers need to take accountability for. That's why I use that word.
But there's a lot more to your story, Santiago. Because
There's a lot more.
You had yours when you were very young, brother.
Yeah,
And
I'll go back to
we
that.
always go back
I
on
had
that.
a point, and this is one thing that I don't know if stepfathers and fathers ever would get together on this, but it happened to me. At some point, about 17, 18, graduating from high school, and getting closer and closer because at that time the street game was very lucrative, and getting closer and closer to the street. At one point, my mother was like, "You got to get out." My stepfather was, "You got to get out," and I'm like, "Well, what do y'all want me to do?
Military.
Y'all just gonna kick me out?" But yes, I did end up in the military. But let me tell the story how. I wasn't leaving. My stepfather, me and him was gonna fight. But one day he comes into the room. He's like, "Yo, you gotta go," and then he's like, "You gotta go, pack your shit, everything like that. If you want to fight, we're gonna fight." Then all of a sudden the doorbell rings. He walks to the door, and you want to know who opened that door? When he opened that door, who was?
Pops.
My father. They jumped me and dragged my ass down to the military, to the recruiter office. And I'm gonna say to both of them, that was the best thing that happened to me in my life. I got to travel the world. I did a lot. I learned a lot. I got to see other cultures. I visited 6 out of the 7 continents because I ain't freezing my ass off in Alaska for nobody. I don't care, Uncle Sam, you ain't sending me to no fucking Alaska. But that saved my life, and I can tell stories about drill sergeants. Everybody says drill sergeants are assholes, but one of my drill sergeants was very instrumental in my getting through that. Another AIT, I had another instrumental man in my life during AIT, and dude, I did the first Gulf. I made it out of there. I did Panama in '89, chasing Manuel Noriega around. I made it out of there. I did Somalia, Black Hawk Down. I was there. I made it out of there. I think without the instructions of all those gentlemen in my life, I would have either ended up in the street or dead in another country during the wartime. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
You never got punished in the military because everybody knows.
Yeah, man. That's
Everybody
only
knows.
a half of my story.
That if you-
and we'll
And I love seeing
Hey.
people. Whatever it is, Vietnam. If they got that hat on, man,
Yeah,
I go
man.
right over to them, and they
Love
look
'em.
at me like I'm crazy because not too many people do it, man, and they deserve to be thanked, man. And okay, thank you, brother, I appreciate it. And they're like shocked at first, and I thank you, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's big.
Thank you.
One thing.
Hold on,
military-
hold on.
Whoa, I
We
just
gotta
wanna
give
put
him
this-
a couple.
I know, but
All
I
right,
just wanted to
go
throw this in. Okay, so in the military,
Yes.
I just wanted to add this.
Sure.
If you ever find yourself, and Santiago said he doesn't want to go someplace cold. So
No.
if you ever find yourself in Alaska,
Yeah.
or a little known island as Diego Garcia,
Whoa.
when you get there and get off either the plane or the helicopter, they're gonna ask you, bro, what'd you do?
Yeah, what'd you do?
Because if you find yourself there, you fucked up.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you find yourself in either Alaska
or Diego Garcia, you
are
fucked up someplace.
You definitely
You
definitely
fucked up.
messed up
Yo,
with
what'd you
a
do?
captain or
what'd you
somebody.
do?
And I've seen that happen where people
Guys would be
got
like, yo, what you do?
people had a cushy duty in the Pentagon, and all of a sudden they said something or did something, and they ended up in Alaska. So.
Alaska, there you go.
Dude, if you still in, God bless you, but you should be retired. But Daniel, you've been patient, Daniel. I want to tell you, I want to thank you for coming tonight, and I want to give you a chance to tell us what influence your dad had on you.
So, I'm 25 again.
We got 10 minutes left.
I know. It's very fast, very fast. I'm 25. I have no complaints, guys.
All right.
No complaints. I'm gonna always be fully transparent. My father was beyond amazing, right? He gave me everything I needed. My mother gave me everything I needed. I wasn't rich because back home in Guyana, I had my classmates and everyone. They went on trips and all that stuff. For the summer, I stayed home. But I had absolutely every single thing I needed. My father went to all my games because I'm big in football or soccer, as in America.
Yeah, soccer,
exactly.
Not American football.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
My father.
The
did-
real football, soccer. Go ahead, do your thing.
My father didn't just go to my games. He showed up at my training. So of course he was one of those fathers that would be, like
President.
Not just president. He would piss me off.
How important is that, man? How did that make you feel, right? People don't,
Exactly.
when you don't have it, man, that's like,
Correct.
it's good that you acknowledge that, man, because
Correct.
not everybody has that, and that and people take it for granted, man, and then you didn't take it for granted. That's important because that's big, man.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to say, because we made a comment earlier that some fathers try to live their dream through their sons and push them to a level that not necessarily they want to be pushed to, and like I tell a lot of men out there, if you're a father, there's a LeBron James, a Kobe Bryant, a Jay-Z is a 1 in a million shot. So stop putting that on your kids. Stop doing
That's
it.
bad.
Because that is a 1 in a million shot. Please, parents, stop going to baseball games and beating up the poor umpires. Stop
Not his
beating-
fault, man.
Yeah, it's not his fault. The dude is 90 years old trying to call balls and strikes.
Doing a job, man.
And believe me, I did Little League umpiring. And when them kids are firing 60 to 70 miles an hour and you're back there and the kid that's the catcher is the smallest one and I'm getting hit with balls in the chest and in my face and all I got is a mask on, guess what? Your $120 is not enough for me to stand back there. So guess what? I'm going behind the pitcher, and if you don't like it, I'll do one of your shit.
No.
The game is over, and I'm leaving.
You were a fucked up umpire because
I
if I was
sucked.
trying to come at you, be like, come down.
No. I just would be like, yo,
dare you to come down.
why you put the smallest kid back here when you got that big jumbo kid at first base? At least he can catch and fucking block the ball from me getting hit in my face. Even if he doesn't catch one, let his little ass get hit.
Hey, it's the first time I ever seen the veins coming out of his head.
Yeah, let his
I love
ass
it.
get
I
hit.
love it, dude. I love it.
You know how many times I got nailed?
Yes.
The
these
age
kids
limit
are-
for your division is
Little fucking
14.
kids are throwing
How old are you?
These little kids are throwing, yeah.
I'm 14, motherfucker.
You kid, I had one kid 6'8",
You
throwing
30.
like from 40, like throwing 95 miles an hour, and you got the littlest kid trying to catch the ball, and then
He got he got one of those like baby mitts on his hands.
yeah,
His hands aren't even big enough for a regular
He
mitt.
should have been playing. No, the kid should have been playing.
It came like in a box
No,
of
that
Cheerios.
kid, that kid looked like he should be playing like T-ball and shit with the other kids. And he's playing Little League, and these kids are throwing 90. Yo, put the big dumb kid behind the plate to block me. I gotta go to work on Monday. The $100
I
isn't
like
worth
to call
it.
them dumb. That's him. The big dumb kid. I love it, dude.
The $100.
That's
Yeah,
that's
the
Blue
big
Honesty.
dummy.
The big dummy, yeah.
I don't
love
care.
it, dude.
Why you
can't talk that about a kid.
Why not?
Talk about a kid. Because here's what it is. He's a big dummy.
All right, not the big dumb. Put the big doofy kid. I
No,
don't give a
dude, you
shit.
should. I love that.
That's why I retired from umpiring. The money was good
Too
in
many
the summer,
lawsuits?
but I had to retire. No lawsuits.
This time,
Yo,
now these days, you can't fucking say
go
anything.
to work- I
Right
go-
away, lawyers called you. Holly heard that she's called this kid stupid. Yeah, because you're fucking dope. That's why I call him stupid.
when I'm
Holly, now I have to
umpiring
do that.
and I have to wear like a military setup. I had to wear all the shit like this. When I had to do that, I needed to retire, and I did. Because, I remember one time I'm doing Little League, and it's in Ardsley, Ardsley. I'm doing Little League, and I'm getting nailed. And these parents are getting upset that I'm getting nailed, and I'm going to go behind the plate. And I'm like, yo, I don't give a shit. Forfeit the game. I'm leaving. I already got paid. I'm out. Finish your story, Daniel.
That's great, man.
You want to finish? Go ahead.
No, that's it,
Ah,
right?
you fucking. Come on, man. He took over his time. He lost his train of thought. I'm sorry. I apologize for it.
That's
My man,
dummy.
Daniel, we'll say it. Your father was a good dude.
No,
He
my father-
and he didn't throw that shit, that pressure on you to do all that
Exactly.
stuff. All right. Now I'm gonna say this. Why I think Daniel's upbringing was great, because he has a high position at 25 years old within a carrier. I don't know.
Can I just say that Daniel exemplifies, what
Upbringing.
the upbringing and this Daniel is the product of men like him and men like us.
Thank you. Yeah,
You
I
have to be, and as a father, I would tell you that we don't ask for much. A man and a father is not the one who makes you
That's right.
biologically. The father is the one who brings you up.
That's right.
That raises you. That is the man.
And I'm gonna end it like this. Stop coming on Father's Day and bringing me just a big piece of chicken. I don't know if you heard that joke, but there was this comedian. And believe me, ladies, I love you guys, but not every day is your day. Father's Day is not it's not your day. Give the man some love. It's not just your day. Yo, we got you ladies get so many days. Your birthday is your day. Christmas is your day.
Anniversary.
New Year's is your day. Anniversary is your day. Valentine's is your day.
Every day is your day.
Yo, July 4th is your day. It's not even America's birthday. It's Women's Day.
No.
Yo,
I'm gonna do what I want to do today. I don't give a shit. It's the 4th of July.
how-
I want to go to the mall.
how it's my birthday and I still gotta feed you? What the hell? Come on. So, ladies, I love you guys to death, but give us all one day. Especially
Make it happen,
if the dad if dad is like
Got a better chance of moving here and seeing baby Jesus at a bus stop or something.
if dad
Wishful thinking. That's
if
just not happening, bro.
if your
Accept
husband
it. You're living in
if the
denial.
father gets the FART and that T is terrific, tremendous. You want to give me another
Tolerant.
Not even-
Tolerant.
Credit for it.
Yeah. And give him his day. Give him his day. I mean, it's just
I hate
right.
women. Just think about it.
I love him.
Listen.
You
in a
lucky
certain
the
way,
polls out here you say
women,
that.
just think of, last thing I am is but just think say we were together, right? I come home from work. You come home from work. Last thing you want to fucking do is talk, right? Hey, fuck you. Fuck you. And that's it. Every once in a while, you put the oven mitt on, I put the oven mitt on, and that's it. But we're all on the same wavelength. You want to talk, you want to go to bed, shut the fuck up, asshole. And it's over. The next morning you get up, make me some French toast, motherfucker. Now fuck you. We're on the same wavelength, right? No arguing. We would never argue. We're on the same thought.
Ladies,
Never want to talk.
Hey, hold on,
Never want
ladies.
to do this.
Not
Yourself.
Not all of our opinions are like that, ladies. So I'm gonna say to you guys, I generally appreciate all of you, man. Thank you for coming in for this
Thanks for having
topic.
me. Appreciate it.
I think we needed to give it. We definitely needed to look at men in a couple of different perspectives. But
Wait, one more thing before Leo Villada.
Oh, Leo.
One of the best men I've met so far.
Yes.
And so far, he's one of the first people that legitimately just gave to me, man,
Yeah.
and still giving. He's a good man.
Yeah, Leo,
Thank you, Leo. I love you, bro.
Yeah, Leo, we give you a lot of
Yeah.
credit, love,
And I'll
what's
always be there for you, bro, all time.
What's the thing? Love.
yeah.
The hats.
Yep. It's just something special, Leo.
New York City, NYCE Customs,
Yep.
in White Plains. That's Leo's business. Shirts, hats, whatever.
treatments. Window treatment,
Window treatments. Tell them about yours.
upholstery.
Tell them your business, please.
My business?
Yeah, what you do.
I don't know my business.
You don't want to talk about
That's
it?
get me in trouble.
Why?
I told you keep vouching about my business. You yap too much.
Because you're gonna tell people if you go do their stuff.
Nah, man, I do lawn care, but I do
You don't want to tell them the
I do-
name?
my company name.
Yeah.
Company name is Pest Genie.
Thank you. In White Plains, if you ever need,
Lawn and plant care.
thank you. find this man.
Healthcare. Not just people need healthcare.
He treats
Let's
your lawn.
too.
He treats your lawn like he treats his family.
Don't get loud because
other than his
I'll find
wife.
myself off the property in a heartbeat. I'll tell you, stick the lawn up your sister's ass because I'm out of here, lady.
He treats your lawn and your trees.
And the best thing is when I tell him, listen, would you like me to come? Do you want a mail check? Or would you like me to come down there and pick one up? As soon as you say that fucking check is in the mail, you guarantee it. I go, should I come down there today and pick one up? And they'll fucking run that shit over, man. Western Union's at your house before you fucking know it. Trust me. That's a fact.
I can hear the husband already. Mail that check out. You don't want him coming down here.
Yeah,
Please mail that check out.
So once again, let me finish this. Sorry, I'm so demanding, but guys, greatly appreciate it. The topic was awesome. We want to appreciate, and I'm gonna say this. This is a belated Father's Day to fathers. This episode was belated Father's Day for fathers that are all the T acronyms, that all the T words that we gave, except for the other one, the trifling one. Correct. We hope that any women, any ladies, any men that watch this episode would take what we said and maybe not apply all of it, but apply some of it to your kids. Why you had kids. Think of the reasons why you had kids. Not the negatives on why you had kids, but the tremendous ability to shape a little one's life.
Yes.
If you're just a mentor out there, if you're a young man and you need mentoring, there are agencies out there. I'm always willing to mentor if you find me. I might not teach you, you're going to have a little dough because of the type of style I have, but we'll get you there.
Can I just say this?
Go ahead.
And I wanted to put this out for the women.
Yes.
For all you women out there, and I know that I'm going to get a lot of pushback, but fuck it, I'm going to say it anyway. For all you women out there that say shit like men are only good for two things, I'm going to tell you this. Talk to your man, dig deeper. There's a lot more there.
Yeah. Man, all men ain't shit.
We all come in different shapes and sizes, and if you,
and different levels
I'll
of
leave it at
intelligence.
that. Yeah,
And
I'll leave it at that.
By his cover, man.
That's right.
That's a fact.
I'll leave it at that.
And ladies, if you see somebody out there you want to mingle with, talk to them. But when you talk to them, have the ability to talk. Because if you don't, some men are smarter than you think, and we're not there just chasing skirts. Some do like me. And I'll look in the camera and tell all ladies, like me, I'm single, but guess what? It's my choice. It's my choice.
Man,
because I'm at
you know what?
I'm
You
in
are
a
a genius. He's
yeah,
a genius.
I'm at a certain
I do know
spot.
something I liked about you. That was the smartest decision you ever made in your whole fucking
Thank you.
life, man. About the military,
That is my choice?
That's your biggest decision.
Thank you.
You could have made a better decision.
Thank you. It's my choice. All right, so I'm gonna end this episode with once again. This is a episode about manly men being real fathers. If you have a comment, if you don't like what we said,
Give me a call. I'll take care of it.
nah, please leave a comment. If we missed any subject that any gentleman would like to be on, please put a comment, and I will definitely. And I have no qualms. We're not scared. We will invite you on here, and you can give us your opinion.
If we
have
a little
no
bit more
problem.
time, if we had a little bit more time, I
Yeah.
would have loved for Mark to get into the story of the insult.
We'll bring
me
him
for,
back.
Was it $5 or for $1? Insult me for $1?
Yes.
We'll bring you back. No,
Listen, I'll come back here.
We'll bring you back.
I'll wait here. I'll sleep here.
You're
You
you're
guys
a
be here
part of the
tomorrow?
consortium.
I'll sleep on the floor.
Mark.
I'll sleep in the corner.
Mark.
With the sign, insult
Mark.
me for $1.
I'll come back anytime.
Every other Wednesday, Mark, you have an
That was
open
great.
invitation.
Thank you, man. I
That was
appreciate
great.
No doubt. You are a consortium member.
That was great.
Daniel has the same. He's a consortium member. Let me mention two things.
I couldn't stop thinking about that.
Please, my office, Medicare
make
Professionals
this up, man.
Office, is located 929 North Broadway in White Plains, New York. We do all kinds of insurance services. You can find us online. You could definitely, please, if you see the podcast name is Cabassas, Cabessa from the mind of Santiago. Please, if you want to subscribe to our YouTube page, you can find us on TikTok and all social medias. Juan Cabrera, tell him.
Pro Health, the health insurance store at prohealth.com, and on social media, prohealthinsurancegroup.com.
Daniel Hodge, we will not disclose his information because he is FBI, federal. No, he's FBL. No, he's FB. Hold up,
Shut the fuck up.
Federal Bureau of
FBI.
Insurance,
She's a fucking-
FBI. All right, let me close this down.
Smart ass.
Yo, let me close this down by saying thank you guys. Keep up with us. This comes from my mind, and I think this is a very important
Those
topic
fucking
to
nails
reach.
are beautiful, dude.
Thank you, dude.
No, really. I'm not being a smart ass. That's nice, man.
All right.
Show yours.
Well, hold on, can I close?
I'm not being
Mark,
smart.
I need to
you
close
are
the
sharp,
show.
bro. You are a sharp
Thank you.
person. Seriously.
San Marcos Menswear in Yonkers. If you want to get gear. All right, guys. Good evening. We will be back in a couple of weeks. Like I said, once again, if you want to leave any comments, if you think you want to avail yourself to being on the show, you're more than welcome. Just put it in the comments, and we'll find you. Leave your email, phone number, or however you want us to contact you, and we could bring you in on a Zoom. However, and we're also looking for in the Hudson Valley. We're looking for local business owners that would like to come on the show and talk about their business, their experience, expertise, and excellence. That's what this show is about. This show is about experience, expertise, and excellence.
And keeping it real.
And keeping it real. And by the way, the other podcast is the Real Deal Health, Wellness, and Insurance podcast. That deals specifically with health, wellness, and insurance. So this topic is totally off the page from that one. So thank you guys. Good night. And I look forward to seeing you online.